Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. I'm Raheem Santi. That's Raheem Sancho. How you doing?
I am doing great. The Glaze Factory. Stocks are up, baby.
Stocks are up, man. I know we'll talk more about this, but what a delight. What a misdirection. Because I was like, here we go. They're screwing over LA Knight again. I thought maybe he might make a comeback, but after he got hit with the tsunami, I was like, oh, it's over, right? The tsunami is the kiss of death. But then they did a really great job at playing it off and then coming back full circle to LA Knight getting the win. That was I watched the ending of that match and I was like, Sancho's up there in the sky right now, smiling down on us.
I'm not dead. I'm alive.
Live and in color here on the Wrestling is Cool podcast, a podcast that you could be getting 3 days earlier over on patreon.com/SantiZab. You like that transition? I was pretty proud of my transition there. Over on patreon.com/SantiZab, where not only are you going to get the podcast 3 days earlier than everywhere else, but you're also going to be getting the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the PLE reviews, the Royal Rumble reviews already on there.
It's over, Santi. My watch is done.
Folks, this Saturday, Sancho finished the very long Ryback in review. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God you're done with that. What do you have an idea of what you're going to do next?
Yes, we're going to do the Royal Rumble reviews to wrap up the men's and women's to add them into the new ranking.
The recent Rumbles. Yeah.
Yes, the recent Rumbles. We're going to add them. And then once that's completed, Chamber in review. And I've asked the people, should we do the Mania adjacent ones? You know, the winner goes on the main event Mania. And they said, no, the people want all the chambers. So we're going to try to go through all the chambers and starting from the beginning. And hopefully we'll come to it by this point next year. So I could be not only Mr. Rumble, baby, but you could call me Mr. Chamber, which is a different type of vibe.
Yeah, that feels like you've got a ball gag and leather straps. It's Chamber Daddy. That's what you should call yourself, Chamber Daddy. I can't wait for you to get to the December to Dismember Chamber, the Extreme Rules Elimination Chamber from ECW, considered one of the worst pay-per-views of all time, and a very terrible match. I can't wait to hear your review on that. While Sancho's doing that, I'm 3 episodes into the NXT TakeOver main event review, and oh my God, what a delight. Every single match has just been so good. It's been so good after watching 37 John Cena matches where most of them were terrible. Now I'm watching nothing but gold. We just watched Sami Zayn versus Neville for the NXT Championship. The debut of Kevin Owens was so good. So good. We're also ranking the matches. Not only are we doing these live series that are currently ongoing right now, but there's also completed series like Sancho's Royal Rumble reviews. He's just topping it off with the new Rumbles, but there's already every Rumble's already on there. Every John Cena World Championship win and loss. Every Undertaker WrestleMania match ranked and viewed. So yeah, there are literal thousands of hours on the Patreon with multiple hundreds of match clubs that are also on there as well. So go check it out. Patreon.com/SantiZap. $5 gets you the whole kit and caboodle. But if you wanted to be a $15 patron to be a producer, you also get movie night. We just watched Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mysteries with a lot of Sin Cara. It was I couldn't believe how much stock WWE put into the Sin Cara gimmick. I think they really thought it was the next Rey Mysterio.
Oh my goodness. And it wasn't even the old, it was old Sin Cara. It wasn't the new Sin Cara with the tattoo.
No, that was OG Sin Cara that they had in Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mysteries. John Cena is on there. He does stop a giant boulder to his own theme song. So make sure you watch that movie. Or you could have just watched it with us.
Daphne wanted that Cena.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
She wanted to see it. You know what I mean?
Poor old Fred, dude, sitting on the camera. All you had to do was watch.
From the corner of the hotel chuck chair. All right, let's get started here, folks.
Why do you reference that a lot? That's like your go-to.
The hotel cuck chair?
Yeah, I don't understand this. Is like, are you on Reddit? Are you on subreddits for this? Like, what's going on, Santi?
Hey, man.
There's other ways to describe the third party, the third wheel type of situation. Nah.
It sounds like you're yucking on my yums right now. Maybe I'm a big fan.
I do apologize. This is the
Maybe
same
I'm a big
place.
fan. Maybe I'm a big fan of the hotel cuck chair scenario. Sancho, you ever think of that? Now, do you feel bad? Sancho, don't yuck on my yum, Sancho.
The ring general in the hotel room, Sancho.
All right, let's talk about this week in WWE. The biggest news to come out during the Super Bowl, by the way.
Super Bowl.
Braun Breaker is out. Now, we know that he had what was apparently like a severe hernia surgery. Like, it wasn't like a minor one. And these types of injuries, like, if you don't take care of them, they just get worse. And worse and worse and worse. Kenny Omega is an example of that, of somebody that didn't take care of that quickly enough, and it became like a very detrimental injury throughout his career for him.
It's not a divergent.
I think it might have been part of it, but I know Kenny Omega dealt with some major hernia issues as well.
What's a hernia, Santi? What's a hernia?
I mean, it's like when you're in, like, part of your organs or intestines protrude through the muscle because the muscle has kind of like torn. It's pretty gross. It's like a nasty bulge on your side because it's like your intestine or some other organ is now past the muscle wall and closing into the exterior of the skin and the surface, which is very dangerous because then if you get hit there, like, you're not hitting just like a lump, you're hitting like potentially an important organ. So a hernia is pretty bad and it looks gross. A hernia looks gross.
Yeah. And then they said he got it because he was lifting the commentary chair. Like, he deadlifted and just went.
Yeah, the retcon on the show was that he was deadlifting much more weight than anyone could conceive at night at 5 a.m. because he's so angry at Adam Pearce. But it could have been the table. When you look at I went back to look at that table scene to see if I could see like a grimace. I couldn't, but we'll never really know. But it could just have been a training injury, just like it was with Cody Rhodes, right? Like, a lot of the time, major injuries are those non-contact ones, especially like in football. Like in football, you just see a guy pivoting and cutting, and boom, knee has shattered. He's out for 8 years. And maybe that's the case here with Braun Breaker, just like in Cody Rhodes' case. It was just a training problem, issue, tear, whatever.
What's the worst injury to it happen here? Like, I'm thinking like the Adam Cole shattering his ankle, like the worst timing.
I think that one. I don't know that there's a worse timed injury than the Adam Cole in the heat of the storyline with MJF. And then following it up with a concussion shortly after his return with the ankle. So I think in terms of timings, like, that's got to be up there.
Punk jumping the guardrail and hurting his ankle. Remember when he jumped into the crowd and he hurt himself?
Oh, what about like speaking of Punk, like at the Royal Rumble? Remember?
Oh,
going into Mania 40, he tore his tricep. They still managed to use him in a very valuable and important way with the whole Drew McIntyre thing, but that was pretty big. Like, to not have CM Punk at his first WrestleMania back after 10 years being gone from the WWE. Now, Braun Breakers, I don't think it's going to be like a situation where he's out for WrestleMania. He could be. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely could be. Going under the knife ain't no easy thing. But these are the types of injuries where, like, if rehab goes well, it's 4 to 6 weeks, which does put us in the ability for him to return. And you got to remember, too, that you can bring him back without contact. Promos, backstage segments, vignettes, things like that before he...
Yeah, but the WWE doesn't do that, though, lately. They don't do that.
Yeah, I get it.
Bianca could have been around, you know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I think more than anything, though, if they wanted to do that, I think the problem is that it doesn't fit Braun Breaker, who is physical, who his thing is attacking and destroying people. And if you decide to bring him back early to build to Mania in a non-contact way, we're not getting the Braun Breaker that people fell in love with, that people have grown to love. You know what I mean? We're not going to be getting those spears from out of nowhere type of deal with Braun Breakers. Now, I did look up like other, similar sports hernia injuries. I looked up the exact same one that they mentioned. Adrian Peterson, running back of the
AP.
Of the Vikings at the time, had one, but it was like after the season. So they waited for the season to be over, and then they did the surgery. It took him about 6 weeks to come back to light work at the at training camp. Kareem Hunt had a similar injury, and it took him 8 weeks to come back. But these were all off-season where there was no rush to bring them back. Ryback, I don't know if you saw, again, the Forrest Gump of wrestling, mentioned that he had a similar injury and that his time frame was originally 20 weeks and that he came back in 10.
Did you seek out Ryback's, like, what did Ryback say on this, or did you just come across Ryback on the timeline?
It was just on the timeline. Ryback commenting. Okay.
You follow Ryback?
I do. Feed him more. You know what? Riff for a second. I'll find the exact tweet because Ryback had some interesting thoughts on this, actually.
All right.
From somebody with experience with it.
The Forrest Gump of wrestling. For those of you who don't know why we call him Forrest Gump of wrestling, because if you watch Ryback in review, he was there on major events like the Sting return and the Shield debut. But when it comes down to Braun Breaker, while he's gonna look it up, have you found it yet?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Ryback says, back in WWE, I wrestled 7 months injured wearing compression shorts under my singlet. A strained groin turned into a bilateral core muscle tears, ripping through both lower abs. Expected recovery was up to 20 weeks. I was back in full time in 10. Whatever Braun Breaker's timeline is, I guarantee you that he beats it. Hungry mentality, and that's the last bite. Feed me more.
Can you imagine talking to somebody like that?
Oh,
like, hey man, feed me more. What?
And that's the last bite. Feed me more. Come on. But some good insight there, though, right? And it is, it's showbiz. I'm sure Braun Breaker, if he's being told 14 weeks, I'm sure he's going to do everything in his power to come back in 8 to make sure he doesn't miss WrestleMania. If I'm Braun Breaker, I'm wanting to make sure I'm here for this Mania. This is a big year for Braun Breaker if he's going to be facing Seth Rollins.
But it's different, though. They don't get paid per appearance on PLEs anymore. So it's like you don't have to rush yourself back. And he's not going to lose aura points if he misses this Mania, in my opinion.
You don't think so? I think it hurts. I think it hurts.
It hurts the vision, okay? I think the vision as a whole, it's time to all right, we tried. We had the monkey's paw. You cannot fake injuries in the WWE because what happens? The monkey's paws show up. It all started with Seth Rollins. We all think, hey, this is fun. We're having fun. This kayfabe. We're having fun. And all of a sudden, the entire building's coming down on you because you mess with it. You can't mess with this, Hunty.
Hey, there is a set of movies called Final Destination. You don't mess with death. All right, this isn't death, but this is the injury bug in WWE. You don't mess with it. All right, that's what happens. It always comes back to claim its victims. And unfortunately, it's claimed the leaders of the Vision, which is kind of insane that it's the two most important people in the Vision that have gone down with injuries. Here's the problem, okay? Actually, I talk about this in a YouTube video. So Seth Rollins going down with injury, you could pivot from it because Seth Rollins's role in the Vision was to protect the future. Okay, he goes down with injury, they write him off, and now the Vision is no longer about protecting the future, it's the future. It's the now. Right? It's the now. They've taken over. But now if you lose the now, the guy that you're building around in Braun Breaker, then now you just have a grouping of dudes that have absolutely nothing in common with one another hanging out together backstage with Paul Heyman. And that's what Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul unfortunately feel like when you don't have either the Seth Rollins ringing them in to protect the future or Braun Breaker to be the future. The Vision is in disarray right now, Sancho. It is problematic, and I can already see the wheels turning within them to try and pivot here into something by turning Bronson Reed maybe into the on-screen Braun Breaker for a while to feud with Adam Pearce, because it's clear that they want something to continue that relationship between the Vision and Adam Pearce at the very least until the return of Braun Breaker, and they're already shifting Bronson Reed towards that. But I don't know that he can play the role the same way that a Braun Breaker can, because Bronson Reed, as scary as he is, has actually been the cool, level-headed guy of the Vision, while Braun Breaker is the hothead willing to act on passion and anger and rage. And that's what works in creating that explosive relationship between him, Monday Night Raw, and Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman. It's not going to work without Braun Breaker there.
It's time. Just blow it up. It didn't work. Set them free. Set them all free. I want Logan Paul either to go on his own or to take over and be the leader. I think that'd be the most interesting play to make for the Vision, is to have Logan be the leader, have him put his hands on Adam Pearce, have him get suspended, give him the heat that was supposed to be for Braun Breaker, put it on Logan, and have Logan carry the torch, because they have no options. It ain't going to be Theory, brother. It ain't going to be Theory. And already people are saying that Bronson Reed doesn't belong part of the Vision anyway because he sticks out. I just don't see any other plays, dude. The only plays for Logan to take over and to be the leader and to be a dangerous heel. Logan gets heat wherever he goes. Him at the Super Bowl, they asked him about good old Bad Bunny. Did you want to see that? And he said no. You know why? Because Logan's always working. Logan's always trying to work and try to find matches for himself. Because we all know, Santi, we've said this, 2-3 years ago? What's a banger match in Puerto Rico that hasn't happened yet? That will happen, and that will drive the entire nation crazy. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. And Logan Paul is saying that he is Puerto Rican, coming out to the Puerto Rican theme and the flag and all that. That's what I'm predicting that's going to happen for Logan. So let's just start that right now with Logan Paul running the Vision and let him be a true Paul Heyman guy. Because when I saw Austin Theory come down that aisle with Paul Heyman, I'm like, wait a minute. What are we doing here? Now they say Austin Theory's the pressure, Santi. You hear that?
It's not going to stick. Pressure. It's not going to stick. Pressure. I kept quoting Mean Girls like, stop trying to make fetch a thing. Stop trying to make the pressure a thing. It's not going to be a thing. No one is going to call him the pressure.
He's the pressure. He needs to keep the pressure. But that's my opinion. It's just time to...
Wait, Sancho, what were they more ham-fisted about? What were they more ham-fisted about this episode? Trying to get over the pressure or trying to get over the... maybe the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, which they tried to say like 50 times on this episode of Monday Night Raw.
I'm trying to really think about, man, is it that the WWE painted himself in this really bad corner with that advertising? Because when they advertised Mania, on the ticket sales, they put CM Punk, Cody, Brock, and all that. Now you have to, that's what you're promising. That's what you have to deliver. And with the idea and the rumors that ticket sales are down and tourism is down in Vegas and things are not working out to fill out that stadium for 2 nights, things are not looking good for WrestleMania. This build is going to be very awkward going forward. Yeah,
we'll pivot to that. Any other thoughts here on Braun Breaker, the Vision, what they should do next year?
Well, Braun Breaker was my idea to win the Rumble, because I thought this would be the year to do that, to crown Braun Breaker as the next big thing, to give him the belt over CM Punk. That was the vision that I had for Braun Breaker and the Vision. But if it's not going to happen, and if he's going to miss so much time out, like I said, it's time to just dismantle it. I don't see any other progress that's going to happen. I think Logan's rise and his capital will be wasted by investing into Austin Theory and Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. Let's just put Logan and Paul Heyman together. Let Bronson Reed and Austin Theory go.
Now, you do still have this masked man running around who on the most recent episode attacked Austin Theory. One, is this rustling thy jimmies yet? Is this interesting to you?
Who's the sexy pick? Who's the sexy man?
Is there a sexy pick?
There has to be a sexy pick. That's the only reason why it works. Because you know what? Austin Theory wasn't the sexy pick.
He was not the sexy pick.
Who was the sexy pick to join Seth Rollins? Braun Breaker. That was a sexy pick.
That was
Bronson
a sexy
Reed.
pick.
Bronson Reed, underrated pick. That was like a lineman draft pick. Like, ooh. But who's the sexy man left? Grayson Waller? Get out of here.
No, dude, people kept saying that in my chat, and I was like, yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Let's just be honest about that. That would suck. I don't know who this... I think this might actually be a body double of Seth Rollins.
For sure.
I think this might actually be that.
Is Seth Rollins a sexy pick, though? It's predictable.
It's predictable. You know, predictable doesn't mean bad, but it doesn't express sexy.
But what's left? There's the Vision's already dead.
Yeah, I mean, what's left would have to be like somebody brand new, somebody being called up from NXT, right? Like if it's like an Ethan Page or Ricky Saints, you know, then we could be talking about sexy. But like that's really
they're sexy.
Yeah, I think at that point now we're reaching for the more unlikely than likely. When I think the most likely thing, just like how we always said, the most likely thing here is probably just Austin Theory. I think the most likely thing here is that this is just a body double of Seth Rollins and that it's meant to be Seth Rollins. I don't know. I didn't say it was sexy. I'm just saying I think it's logical.
You know what I said on Monday night after I watched the show? I was like, this is good, but it's missing the seasoning. There's the build for Mania is missing that seasoning. And I feel Seth Rollins is like a solid protein-packed meal but it has no flavor.
Yeah, we are in that weird preteen stage of the WrestleMania build, though.
Oh.
We're in that, like, we're so far away from WrestleMania, but close enough to have to build to it, but far enough where you can't fully commit to it yet. You know, you're in that weird prepubescent stage of the road to WrestleMania.
I would say 2025 build was weird because it was Jey Uso. Remember? Who is Jey going to choose? You're just like, geez, just pick. We know. Jeez, just pick, brother.
Well, I do still think we're going to have Braun Breaker from Mania. I think it's going to be fine. It's probably going to be Seth Rollins. But yeah, this does not more than anything like I don't think that this brings into question Braun Breaker and his Mania. I think what this injury, is highlight the problems with the vision and the lack of true identity when a guy like Braun Breaker is not there. And that's why, you're out here saying like, hey, implode them. And you're not the only one. Like, a lot of people are already in that state of mind, but that shows the fragility of this faction, right? It's not a faction. It is, it's for one dude in a supporting cast.
I figured out the sexy pick.
Tell me.
This is a place you're not going to like it. Sometimes things are sexy that you don't like.
I don't know. I tend to like sexy.
Jake Paul.
First of all, you are talking to the wrong person. I love that pick.
Okay, there we go.
You don't know me. I'm a Jake Pauler.
But I know he's around the world here. He's watching his girlfriend break, be Olympic gold medalist, break records. I get that, but he could be body double for Jake Paul, which would be interesting because you and I for Match Club, we watched when Jake Paul came out. There was some motion behind the Paul brothers in the WWE. And I do believe Logan could be in the ear of Jake Paul saying, hey, man, this is a good spot for you to land after your whole boxing career. Now, I know Jake Paul is under some heat after some of the tweets he's been making after the halftime show. But still, Jake Paul in the WWE would be an interesting pick going forward because it just adds drama going to Mania. Because for those of you who don't know, Mania has a lot of celebrity involvement. I mean, some of the Manias that we had Floyd Mayweather going against Big Show. We had Mike
Johnny
Tyson
Knoxville.
in the bag. Johnny Knoxville. We need some celebrity fun going into the Mania, and I think Jake Paul would add to that.
Yeah, let's not forget too, right, that this is a storyline playing out on Monday Night Raw. What show is that on? It's on Netflix. And Netflix and Logan Paul are tight, right? After
Paul brothers,
with what's been going on with his back-to-back like record-breaking fights on Netflix with Anthony Joshua, and then before that with Mike Tyson. So there's a lot of motion between the Paul brothers and Netflix that it genuinely wouldn't surprise me if it does end up being Logan Paul in some way, shape, or form. But I do want to pivot here to talk about WrestleMania, and I want to talk specifically about CM Punk, Roman Reigns, the whole Finn Balor, what I consider to be a bit of a debacle. I'd like the floor here for a little bit.
I'll sip my coffee. Go ahead.
Appreciate that. So CM Punk and Roman Reigns has basically already been confirmed, and they did it right after the Royal Rumble, right? Great promo. Fantastic promo. And then immediately they're trying to get you to care about Finn Balor and CM Punk when they've already advertised CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We've got a couple of problems here, and I think it's a WWE problem, and like you've already alluded to, a ticket sales problem. I think in a perfect world where tickets are selling, where tickets aren't $1 trillion a piece, and things are moving, I think WWE waits on that Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo. Did you see the graphic with Roman Reigns' dates? I think in a regular cycle, that promo that we saw after the Royal Rumble happens on the Elimination Chamber post-Raw because he's scheduled for it. So that way you can allow this whole month cycle to actually be interesting between CM Punk and Finn Balor. Now, don't get me wrong. Even if it was happening the way that I'm presenting it, I still wouldn't think that Finn Balor would win. But at least what I want is for WWE to pretend like Finn Balor could win. Let me buy into the fantasy that you're selling here. But it is impossible, like genuinely, Sancho, impossible for me to buy into the fantasy that WWE wants to pitch of Finn Balor beating CM Punk in his home city in Chicago, Illinois, when they already have literal freaking billboards in Las Vegas with Punk and Roman's face on it. WWE has sacrificed this month cycle PLE for the sake of driving ticket sales to a struggling show in a struggling tourist market of Las Vegas. And the losers here, a lot of people would say it's Finn Balor. The loser is us, because now we are forced to stomach a PLE cycle for a championship match that is about as filler as it could possibly get. There is no drama, no fear at all whatsoever that CM Punk is going to lose this. But Santi, what happened with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley? No, that's different, because Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley before Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair were even able to cut a promo on each other. They did it right after Elimination Chamber, before Rhea and Bianca, the build could start. So the start of the build was all three of them. This, they've already done a remarkable WrestleMania promo, a promo of the year contender, and then they want to follow it up with a PLE cycle with Finn Balor? I mean, if that's not disrespectful to Finn Balor, I don't know what is. I know what is extra disrespectful. When Michael Cole goes, why would you jeopardize the greatest WrestleMania main event in history? And he says, for that. They've relegated Finn Balor, not to Finn Balor, not to the Demon, not to the Prince. Sancho, he is now that in the vernacular of WWE. What the hell? I cede the floor to Congressman Sancho.
Yes, you may think this is all just for a filler, but you know what it's for? He's coming to Fortnite, baby. Did you see the tweet? Finn Balor says, I'm kind of getting into Fortnite. Then Fortnite says, the demons coming to the island. Yes, sir. Another wave of WWE skins is around the corner, and the little Demonito back bling. Come on, dude. You gotta get into that, dude. Finn Balor getting a little push for the Fortnite skin. But bottom line is, to add to your issues, I do believe the main issue is that Finn Balor is another AJ Styles situation. He's been on the roster for so long. You could have Finn Balor be a threat. We should all go like, well, look, legitimately, Finn Balor is a threat if you took away his booking, if you looked at all the history. Look, the WWE, you know what they love to do? They love to tease us with the Bullet Club, don't they? They love to go like, hey, guys, we know cool wrestling too. The Bullet Club was something awesome in New Japan, but they don't give a damn about the Bullet Club in the WWE. And so that's what we're going to get. We're going to taste a little Bullet Club Finn Balor, but at the end of the day, dude, you're right on the whole thing about it. It is a problem that they continue to do, and I think that's why CM Punk wanted to get Finn Balor's name in that promo, and I don't think CM Punk wanted to do that promo right then and there. And I know the TKO and WWE brass was like, dude, we need to get more money into that, so we need to have Roman Reigns main event and you main event WrestleMania. At the end of the day, Santi, do you believe that if it was in New Orleans, they would have this issue?
No,
like, I think New Orleans would have been.
Well, maybe give people context that haven't traveled to New Orleans or Las Vegas in terms of the difference in terms of lodging, eating, drinks, things like that.
Bottom line is your dollar goes further in New Orleans
by a lot,
way further. And the people in New Orleans are very loyal to the WWE, and they will show up locally to wrestling. When it comes to Vegas, you have to beg the people that live there to go to the Strip. They want to avoid the Strip with everything in their being.
At that point in Vegas, you're not marketing to the Vegas locals. You're marketing to people to fly into Vegas.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen. And at the same time, a lot of international travel is at a weird place right now. It's at a weird place here in the States. Things are acting kind of kooky out here. So I just think that the combination of everything, and at the same time, I do believe Finn Balor should matter more. And I think we would have that notion of Finn Balor mattering more if his booking wasn't so atrocious as a single star, when the Wepa King eats 6 coup de grace and you thinking like, oh my God, that has a chance against CM Punk. I don't think so. Now, would be interesting is if Finn Balor, I don't know what. Okay, let's find the silver lining in this. Okay, we could be all gloom and doom, all toxic masculinity. What's the positive side? Kit Wilson started breathing heavy into the mic, dude. He was just like, breathe, take it in, man. Good old Chris Jericho. So what's the positive? What's like, where does it? I have a thing here in the mini game. What's the payoff? What's the payoff here for Finn Balor and CM Punk?
I don't think that there is one. I think the payoff is get through it so you can get to their Mania programs. Punk and Roman, Finn Balor, Dominic.
I don't like Finn and Dom because
what else you got? What else you got?
Okay, so someone said like why don't you have Finn and Dom for Mania? Like that sounds great, and I'm like, yeah, but if your goal, Santi, is if to give Finn Balor that face push or to put him in a position to be a singles guy, you can't build off of Dom because I feel like Dom is bulletproof. Dom is going to get the most positive rub off of that. Finn Balor's not, and that's what the problem with Dom right now. He's just so hot right now, both in AAA and in WWE, that you cannot overcome the Dom push. The Dom push, the rocket continuing to rise, brother. It rises. Finn Balor
rises.
Finn Balor, I think you put him. I hate to say this, but he needs JD so much, dude. I think Finn and JD could do something much more interesting than Finn and Balor and Finn and Dom. I'm not saying JD versus Finn together, but I still think Finn Balor value. They had a taste of it when he was a face, and they're throwing it away. They're throwing it away for I don't know why.
I know the play here, Sancho.
What's the play?
Finn Balor wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then you get the Demon doing the pose. That's it right there. That's the height of what WWE is going to be doing with Finn Balor. Look, jokes aside, I think it's Dominic. I don't disagree with you that it's not the most interesting thing. I'm just giving a realistic ceiling here for Finn Balor. I think it's Dom.
Question. Can Damian Priest save all this? Is Damian just done with Judgment Day?
King of the Wepaverse, we got to bring him in.
I'm just saying, like, is he done? Like, why have we written off this chapter? We exiled him to SmackDown, and there it was just so odd that Damian told Drew McIntyre, "You don't want a piece of this. Don't challenge me." And you're like, "Wouldn't you want to challenge the undisputed champion?" Like, what are you doing, Damian? But like, why don't there's home. That's the home for everybody. We saw on Match Club when the Judgment Day were together. I'm not asking for Rhea Ripley to come back home, but maybe we bring back Damian into the fold. I mean, there was drama between Finn and Damian that worked going into the SummerSlam.
I don't care. I think it sadly is sadly where my brain is going to. Like, okay, cool. You bring Damian Priest back to the Judgment Day, more stuff with Finn Balor. Okay, I don't care. Yeah, that's my like gut reaction when I hear that.
All right, how about Finn Balor to NXT? Again.
I was just about to say, like, dude, like, how many like down to NXTs does one get in your career? How many of those do you get before, you know, somebody says like, why are we paying this guy main roster money when the best stuff he does is in NXT?
You know what would have worked really, really well?
Tell me.
If instead of Dominic Mysterio for Finn Balor, what if it's Finn understanding that he needs to challenge a mountain to get some motion back, and that mountain needs some motion as well? What if it's an Obafemi versus Finn Balor, former NXT champions?
I'll take that. That. But Sancho, I kind of present your same point where it feels like this just benefits only Oba. Like, because just like how Dom would be the hot one in the storylines between the two, there's a lot more interest and intrigue right now in Obafemi, and I don't think it's a particularly good look to try and build Finn Balor off the back of an NXT rookie. I don't think that's good.
Is he just spoiled goods then? Is this a spoiled year for Finn Balor?
I mean, it's not us saying it. Like I said, it's WWE basically saying it. They have taken Finn Balor to the Mayan temple of Machu Picchu. They have placed him in front of the steps to gut his heart out and kick him over the steps to help the gods to sell more WrestleMania tickets. They are using Finn Balor as a sacrificial lamb to bring about a bountiful harvest of WrestleMania tickets here, Sancho. That's what WWE is using Finn Balor for.
I'm going to call this the Michael Hayes ceiling, because, you know, that's another piece of drama that's happening is Michael Hayes and Chelsea Green on Unreal. Michael Hayes says that Jay? What about Jay? Michael Hayes says that Chelsea Green is just enhancement talent, and that's it. Like, she is someone that makes everyone look better. And what I find it's a problematic because you can't put wrestlers in a box like that, because then it just limits your creativity as well.
Agreed.
So is Finn Balor in that box that he's just there to make talent look better? and he just has that legacy of what Vince gave him being a Universal Champion and what he had in New Japan. Is like, that's it. Like, is he like a more, I guess, utility type of player to use like Dana Nakamura?
Maybe. I think, yeah, maybe he's like a Swiss Army knife type of deal, you know, break in case of emergency that you need a PLE cycle. That is kind of a yearly thing with Finn Balor, though. They do seem to do this with him every single year where he gets a PLE cycle going after a world title. They did it last year with Damian Priest and Gunther and everything that was going on there. The year before that with like the Seth Rollins stuff. So this does seem to be a position that Finn Balor is in where he is main event by convenience as opposed to main event because he demands it. And I hate that.
You saying booty call bookie?
Yeah, I think he gets the you up for Chicago Elimination Chamber, Finn. You up. And I think that is his role here in WWE, and that sucks, but I see no other way of putting it aside from that. Like when you look at what WWE has been doing with Finn Balor, I don't know, man. Like the ceiling is not it's not even a Finn Balor ceiling. It's a WWE placed ceiling on Finn Balor from what I see here. Like I said, man, there's no silver lining to WWE putting up billboards and selling tickets off the back of CM Punk and Roman Reigns when you still have an entire month cycle of CM Punk versus Finn Balor. Like you might as well just like not do Finn Balor CM Punk at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it is risky. It is risky because, you know, CM Punk is injury prone.
You make a great point. I said this in the video. It feels like this match, more than anything, is serving more as a potential place for CM Punk to get injured for this big main event that they're advertising. Because
you gotta have him. You gotta have him in Chicago though. That's a problem,
right? Yeah, I totally get it. But all of this would have been fixed if WWE and TKO wasn't so desperate for these ticket sales and they had just waited for the natural place to do this, which should have just been after Elimination Chamber to not damage this entire month PLE cycle for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I would really, really rather have Logan versus Punk at Chamber. I don't know how we would have got there, but it would have worked for me because Logan could take an L.
I agree. I mean, Finn Balor takes L's. That's what he does. But the thing is that like Logan taking an L to CM Punk actually like is a step forward. Right. It pushes Logan Paul up. Well, this I just genuinely believe does nothing for Finn. He just stays in the same stagnant position that he's in. He's going right back to whatever it is that he was doing before.
It feels like it's an AEW type of booking because CM Punk's proposing it that way because Finn Balor, if you look at AEW all the time, most of the time, they will book like a top tier talent against some indie guy that was really, really solid and coming in. And they have like a banger match out of both of them on a weekly television. And that's what CM Punk's trying to tell us, like, hey, Finn Balor is one of the best in the world. And he wants to be the best in the world by beating the best in the world. But I'm like, yeah, but Finn hasn't been booked like he's the best in the world. Yeah. That's the problem, brother.
I'll give it to CM Punk. He's trying so hard. He's working so hard to make this work. And so is Finn. But they were put in quicksand. They were put in quicksand, sadly, right off the bat. Not to their fault, but by WWE.
It's like when you're playing Mario Party and you got like 4 stars ahead. And you know, you go into that whole thing when they give out stars, like, I'm going to win this anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Give out your stars. give Finn Balor his little star for getting most of the blue space.
The most boost spaces. Here you go.
Who makes up this star, dude? This is BS, bro.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah, man. I think it sounds like we're in agreement here. Let's move on to like the other side of things because we've got Elimination Chamber being built up, but in the process, you've got the 2 guys that are kind of in the picture for the WWE Championship being in one singular match in Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu.
The Chamber. Right, I don't care what you say, baby. Yeah. The Glaze Factory is at an all-time high. You thought we were losing? You thought we were going to go down after a tsunami? No, sirree, Bob. LA Knight arrives. You know, this is LA Knight 3.0. You know what I mean? This is a new prototype archetype of LA Knight, that he survives tsunamis, that he survives weird booking, and he comes off on top and he hits that BFT, gets the 3 count the hard way, while good old Austin Theory's looking up at the lights, and guess who's going to the chamber? You know what, Santi? You may say, oh, it doesn't matter because, looking down the road at Mania, there's a billboard and LA Knight's not on the billboard and he's not in the commercial. You know what? I don't give a damn, because you know why? Because this is just a building block into the story, into the saga of LA Knight almost getting there. Yes, I know it's a repetitive story. LA Knight almost winning Money in the Bank. LA Knight's in the chamber. AJ Styles. I get that. I'm there for it. Okay. But this is all part of the plan. This is all, as the show goes, right? All part of the show, brother. I am fine for this because you know why? It's the end goal, the end of the rainbow. That pot of gold is that briefcase in the sky. And LA Knight's going to climb rung by rung, one by one, and get to the top and do the carabiner thing and not take forever like good old Captain Jack did when he was winning the briefcase. He's going to go ahead and take that off and become Mr. Money in the Bank. Yeah, and securing the 20 gifted that you owe me.
Hey, good things comes to those that wait, Sancho. Good things come to those that wait. Here's the thing, I think, you are the, CEO of the Glaze Factory, but I think I've demonstrated that I am an LA Knight fan. I want him to win.
Oh.
I think I'm at the point where I want him to win more for you than for him.
Oh.
I think that this will be a monumental day on this podcast when LA Knight wins a world championship, which I do think will happen. I firmly believe that. Now, how long WWE will make us wait, I don't know. I still don't think it's going to be this year.
No, that's fine. See? Money in the Bank. Just Money in the Bank. That's the way in. That's the way in the door.
Money in the Bank is, especially this year, is a perfect one for LA Knight to win, with it being later in the year. You don't have to build SummerSlam around them if you don't want to. You can have the cash in be at those lower tier PLEs if you want to, the Survivor Series, the Crown Jewels, whatever, Wepapalooza,
Saturday Night Main Event,
whatever. Main event. Sure, yeah, why not? Or start the new year with a cash in or whatever. I think that's
Sunday Night Heat. Who cares?
Sure, that's a sure. I think that's a perfect time frame for LA Knight to win.
Who cares?
It's so, dude, I don't know why WWE hasn't done a Taboo Tuesday or a Cyber Sunday now when social media is on the palm of everyone's hands.
Dude, that'd be so sick, dude, to actually have fan voting, like legitly have fan voting. I would participate. I would vote.
Dude, that'd be so sick for live streaming. Like you're like live streaming, like you're voting and stuff live in the moment. That'd be sick, man.
Ooh. Cyber Sunday on Twitch.
Dude, I wonder, if us streamers, if we'd have enough motion in the ocean to sway the vote while we're live.
Sure.
While we're live, because listen, for Royal Rumble across the board, I peaked at 40,000 viewers on all of them. If I'm like, all right, everybody, you guys are gonna vote for James Ellsworth to go after Obafemi. I think we might be able, collectively as a unit, to sway the vote.
Put Omos in the finals? Why not?
Why not, man?
Why not? Yeah, dude, that'd be fun. I don't know. I feel like WWE is so progressive forward when it comes to the internet and things like that, but yet they're not yet. I think that's the TKO problem. It's the red tape. You got a lot of red tape to go through.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time, man. Back in the day with the voting that they had on Cyber Sunday. I still don't know how real the voting was, but
are you enjoying the qualifiers for it? I tweeted this out that some of them are unpredictable, like you were going to say with Cody and Jacob and Sami Zayn, but some of them are really predictable, like Rhea, Lyra, and Ivy Nile. So what are your thoughts on the chamber matches so far?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. For example, next week, it's Gunther, Javon, Dominic. I was like, ooh, I don't know who's going to win that. That's spicy. That's intriguing. But then this week, it was Rhea, Lyra, and Ivy. And I'm so glad you brought this up, because when they announced the match, when Raw was starting, I was like, why are we watching this? Just give it to Rhea. You might as well just move Rhea on. There is no drama here. It was still a fun match with one of the funniest little botches of the year, with the Miss Bulldog. I love those botches because no one gets hurt. It just looks silly, so we can laugh and move on.
For me, I took it like it's a triple threat. You know, how are you going to coordinate that? It's like sometimes it happens.
It happens. You laugh and move on. But yeah, you might as well. It's like, okay, yeah, just give it to Rhea. And I think the next women's one is like Bailey, Asuka, and I can't remember who it is. Maybe Maxine or something. Or Natty. I think it might be Natty.
Yeah, Natty.
I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't know who's going to win then. That's a good one. But yeah, they do some unfortunately, very predictable ones. I would say that the main event of SmackDown, the Randy Solo Alistair, fell in that really, really predictable side of things.
I was surprised though. It's interesting because you see some of the outs they have, but I forgot about that Masked Man. I really did. I completely forgot about the Masked Man, and it took off so many names. But yeah, man, LA Knight, Randy in the Chamber.
That means who else do you think is going to be in it? Let's try and round it out. You've got 2 of the men. You have 4 more spots. You've got a very confusing one here with Cody, Jacob Fatu, and Sammy. What do you think is going to happen?
Are they doing Last Chance? Don't they do Last Chance every now and then?
I think they've done Last Chance before. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to.
I think they have to do Last Chance.
You don't think they have enough people?
Well, I mean, you're using Cody, Jacob, and Sammy here. 2 of them have to go to the Chamber. You can't have one of the...
Unless they're planning on doing Drew McIntyre versus Fatu versus Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. Triple threat for the world title.
Yeah, but then that takes down the importance of winning the Chamber. If one of them gets through and just challenges for a triple threat, a la Bianca Belair and Rhea just going, I wanted this match. Yeah. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but there's precedent.
Okay, I do think for Chamber's sake, you got to have Cody in the Chamber.
Sure.
So I think Cody's going to win here. It can't be bum ass Sami Zayn, which is what they're presenting to me. Sammy, who says 1,000 words a minute, said nothing on SmackDown. I think Cody wins here. I think you have to have Cody in the Chamber, and I think you have a last chance, and Jacob gets in the Chamber, and Sammy continues his depressing
bum ass Sammy.
Yeah, bum ass Sami Zayn. I think you gotta have Javon. I feel like Javon would be an interesting thing. I think the Gunther, when it comes down to it, they give us a hint that Dragon Lee could get involved, because why show Dragon Lee dying on the cross of the ropes and Gunther laughing at it, be like, I'm focusing on Mania, but haha, thanks for showing Dragon Lee. So I think Dragon Lee gets involved and Gunther doesn't advance, and I think it is Javon. I think Javon.
You can't put Gunther in this. It's the same reason why they shouldn't have put him in the Rumble, because if you're going to put him in these matches, he should win. You should find an out and not put him in the Chamber match.
I wish he actually put Roman to sleep. That would have been interesting, because it doesn't hurt Roman because he goes to sleep, sure, but that he doesn't lose the match, because you got to get Roman out of the ropes. You know what I mean? The little possum, like, I'm asleep. Whoa, throw you out. That could have worked really well. But I think Javon gets in it because you need I missed the high flying Chamber spots, dude. Someone has to jump out of that pod.
I agree.
Someone has to.
I think Javon is the perfect addition to that match. I'm with you.
And then you got to have a Vision member just to keep that going. So
it ain't gonna be Theory.
It ain't gonna be Theory. I take Logan over Bronson Reed. Logan looks great in the Chamber.
Here's what I would find interesting with the Vision.
Sure.
Bronson Reed also gets a qualifier match, and the Masked Man also attacks Bronson Reed. Logan Paul has a qualifier match. No Masked Man to be found. Logan Paul wins. Just like how Logan Paul was like the sole survivor of the Vision and didn't get eliminated by LA Knight and actually went further in the Rumble. Maybe this happens again, and it just kind of starts like moving the gears. Like, why did everyone else get attacked except Logan Paul? That could be interesting, an interesting narrative.
And it was Paul Heyman behind all the Masked Man attacks? Ooh.
Mayhaps, me lord.
Ooh, now it's getting spicy. Now you're adding you ever seen those videos of the guy doing the crawfish?
Yes.
And he's like, what's going on, dude? And he throws in all the big old buckets. So that's what we need, brother. Add some seasoning to this.
We need the seasoning. All right. I mean, I think Chamber is going to be a fun PLE. I think right now my favorite thing about Chamber is the fact that they have 4 matches announced and we're 3 weeks out. That's pretty good. Normally we if we're lucky we get the 4th match the week of. Now we actually have 4 matches. There's 3 weeks where they might be able to add maybe, dare I say, a fifth one. Oh, good heavens. I feel like I woke up the dead by suggesting a fifth match here from TKO. Maybe that's how you get your goddamn ticket sales up, TKO. I don't know. Maybe consider that. Maybe more matches. But the PLE for me is soiled with everything going on with Punk and Balor. I'll say that. It's soiled.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those, man. I'm one of those.
Why?
I'm one of those, if I find a piece of mold on my bread, the whole bread loaf is ruined.
You throw it away?
All of it.
I'm the same way. My wife is like, just take it out. Like, hell no,
dude. I've learned
adjacent.
That there is more mold that you can't see. Like the webbing of the mold goes deeper into the bread that you actually cannot see. And ever since The Last of Us, I refuse to eat anything that is moldy or fungusy. All right, I ain't getting cordyceps, brother. It ain't gonna be me.
So you want undead Damian Priest?
Yes. All
Imagine
rise,
that's how it happens. He eats a moldy bread.
Moldy bread. All right, let's
He has fungus growing out of him.
What do they call clickers? Yeah, he's just instead of clicking, he instead of you
Wepa.
clicking for echolocation, he wepas for wepa location.
My favorite comment recently is someone goes, "What's up with Sancho and Undead Davian?" I'm like, "Oh, you must be new here."
You're new here.
Oh man,
I do want to talk about Drew McIntyre like clapping back at Roman Reigns and CM Punk after they did their absolute best to bury him and SmackDown. It's kind of funny the build up to Roman Reigns. Yeah, it's the build up of Roman Reigns and CM Punk has come at the expense of Drew McIntyre, of the WWE Undisputed title, of SmackDown, and Finn Balor, all for the build up of one match. I don't know if that's going to be worth it, but dude, I found
can
that
you do four?
Can you do four?
Can you do four without your thumb? Like, can you do it like?
Like
see, I can't do that. I
can't.
You
can't do this.
No, with your pinky. With your pinky instead of your thumb. Like.
Oh, that's not. Yeah,
that's not possible.
That's not possible. Yeah, that's. I'm sure somebody out there can do it, but that it ain't me. I ain't that guy. I found that promo to be very. Is the right word I'm looking for censored? Like they didn't allow Drew McIntyre to really hit back. Like it was almost like, hey, they're allowed to put you down, but you can't put them down because that's the match that we're building as our night tour that's putting butts in seats. So it felt like Drew McIntyre was kind of forced to take the route, almost like a babyface, of like defending SmackDown, of like, hey, you guys hear what they're saying about us over there? You guys better step up. And it led to Trick Williams coming out and being like, hey, I'm glad somebody stepped up. That's good, blah, 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 blah. It felt like that because the Drew McIntyre, the unfiltered Drew McIntyre would have gone in so hard at CM Punk and Roman Reigns, would have absolutely roasted them. And he didn't take that route. I'm curious if it was something that was filtered and censored out so that he can't put down the big match, but the big match can put him down.
I do feel like they did what they can. I think the biggest thing out of that entire thing was that it was a declaration of war. I thought that was an interesting thing to say. It kind of got buried a little bit with the lead of all of them saying about the title and all that. But he said, this is a declaration of war. I was like, okay, if this is the seed for the brand war, or if they're going to do SmackDown versus Raw, which I feel would be fun, who would you think would win between Raw and SmackDown? I'm just asking the question, Santi.
Yeah, they ain't doing that. Who
the
would
SmackDown
win?
roster, the SmackDown roster is pretty deep, deceptively deep.
Yeah, but the Raw's got the plot armor, brother. Raw's got Roman.
SmackDown got Cody.
I mean, Cody lost his plot armor. He's lost recently. I do think the SmackDown roster is deeper, right? Because you got Randy over there, Cody, Jacob, Drew McIntyre. You got new up and comers like Trick Williams as well.
Solo.
Sure, we can throw Solo in there if you want.
I will.
Okay. Shit. Who would win that? I'll say this: the answer is whoever gets Obafemi.
It's Obafemi. I knew you were gonna spit that out.
Whoever,
I knew it.
because they're like selling it like what brand is gonna get Oba? If let's say they do end up doing some sort of like little mini brand split PLE between the two brands. The payoff you asked about payoffs. The payoff of the Oba sweepstakes would be that the brand that got Oba won because of Oba. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. You know, I don't want to be this way, Santi, but people are making me defend myself when it comes to Obafemi. I'm
no
just
one's
a silent,
doing you anything.
Yes, you are. I'm a silent observer. I tried to be a silent observer in this whole thing and just sit there watch. And I'm like, cool. Kit Wilson, sure. We predicted it. You did actually. That's the good old Kit Wilson will have a toxic promo, and then Obafemi will come out, Oba feminist and all that kind of stuff. And I'm watching that little vignette they did on Monday Night Raw, and he's like, "A change is coming." I'm like, "Cool, change is coming." And they end it with him power bomb or what is it called? Oba bomb. What do they call his finisher? Hit me.
The fall from grace.
They ended the whole vignette with fall from grace on Kit Wilson. Like, oh yeah, that's a big change coming by putting down Kit Wilson. But I do agree with you. Whoever gets Obafemi would be the brand winner. To go back to Drew McIntyre, I'm excited for Drew McIntyre because it adds an edge to him that we haven't got with an undisputed champion. That he still feels like he's being a chip on his shoulder. He's still being slighted. And most undisputed champions, I would say, you know, we've had Roman, Cody, and John. They haven't really felt that way. They felt like they're the guy on top, whereas Drew McIntyre still doesn't feel that way. And I think it's working for him because he doesn't come out and do like the typical undisputed champion. He doesn't have to promote anything. Instead, he hasn't edged himself and he's declaring war on Monday Night Raw, which works for me versus this whole notion of like, I'm the undisputed champion. People are going to come after me. He's active. You know what I mean? He's active out there. He's throwing the deep ball, something. He's not just running up the gut. You know what I mean? Got that 40-yard bomb, good old fly route. He's chunking it, dude. He's not playing out, trying to run out the clock. He's being active, going for tutties, as they say.
Okay. No, I get it. I just still think at the end of the day, Drew McIntyre shouldn't be having to play defense on his championship reign. He still beat Cody Rhodes, and I think it's kind of corny that to build CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they had to, whether it was their intention or not, I think it was their intention. They damaged the goods of Drew McIntyre, and by proxy, the feud for that championship belt.
Listen, I don't care because you know what that does? That opens LA Knight to be the undisputed champion of the WWE.
Oh, stop it. No, it doesn't. I mean, actually, it kind of does. It kind of does, actually. Does it close the door on the World Heavyweight Championship? Does that make this championship, more airtight and more difficult to go after?
The only difference is if Roman is champion and LA Knight has the money in the bank and they lean on that he's going to cash in Undisputed. If he cashed in on Roman, it would still make sense. It would still make sense for the history that they've had between the two. And look at you, you'd be so happy for me to cash in Roman.
I've never said a single bad thing about LA Knight. I think you can vouch on that. I root for LA Knight. Not to your level, but I root for LA Knight. I would love that.
You would go, like, your first thought would be like, let's go to Sancho's channel to see his reaction. You wouldn't care about LA Knight. But it's fascinating because when I went to AEW, multiple people came up to me to talk about LA Knight. This is the first thing they said, like, yeah, man, LA Knight. And also, I told you this story, but today, this past week, I got recognized at a McDonald's drive-thru, dude. This is a very Seinfeld thing, and you would get it. I don't know if anyone else out there would get it. So I'm in the drive-thru. My daughter wants a Happy Meal. I'm ordering a Happy Meal, and then they ask, do you want to donate $1 to the Ronald McDonald Club? And I'm like, no, or I'm good, right? And then I go to pay, and the guy's like, yo, Sancho, hey, man, I love the podcast. I love your content. Santi needs to put you on a thumbnail. I'm like, hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And then when I leave, I'm like, I should have donated $1.
Yeah, you should have, you bastard. Now we look like the podcast that doesn't give to kids.
It's like a totally Seinfeld thing, right? It's like, oh, and then he's gonna go tell like, yeah, he didn't donate $1. And then I'm gonna go back like George Costanza and give $5, right, to make up for it, but it's too late. It's too late. So, shouts to Ruben. I know you're listening. Awesome to meet you, man. It was
Ruben,
dope.
I would have given $1. Just to clarify, I would have given $1
to the Ronald McDonald's.
Why not, man? Sure, good old clown house. To the clown house.
But yeah, it was cool because my daughter was like, "What's a thumbnail? Why are you not on the thumbnail, Daddy?" Now I feel like Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? I'm not on the thumbnail.
When are you gonna get on the thumbnail,
The
Daddy?
thumbnail, Dad. Oh no, I'm Sami Zayn, dude. I don't know, sweetheart. I'm gonna get there when Daddy gets there.
Why do they call him the 17th time? Because he's won the championship 17 times. How many times have you won, Dad? Burn.
So I'm bum ass Sancho now, dude. Going forward.
Bum ass Sancho. Dom and the Dom Liv and Stephanie Vaca segment. I'm in love with that segment. I love the way that you put it here, a telenovela. It really did feel that way. I think it is borderline accidental genius to put Dom in this because he allows Stephanie to cut promos in Spanish because he's the translator, right? So it allows Steph to be able to talk in her native tongue, which allows her to cut significantly better promos and feel more believable and be a better on-screen presence than when she's talking in English, which is not her dominant language. And then you've got Dom there to be able to relay the message in a comedic way to Liv, and it allows everybody to be their best version of themselves. I think this is brilliant. I think this is awesome.
And made me love. I love Liv so much because Liv's like, "What did she say, Daddy?
Yeah.
What did she say, Daddy?" No.
It's so good.
I love it. I love it because Dom being adjacent to the title does help add drama to the match. Because Dom could be out there and he could be a problem. He could be another obstacle for Stephanie Vaquer to overcome. And it doesn't take away any of the luster of Liv Morgan because they work together. It's like if you're going to face Liv Morgan, you have to deal with Dominic Mysterio. And that's what I like about it. And you're right. It's a cherry on top that we could get these fun, significant promos that play with language barriers. I mean, one of the biggest talking points of the Bad Bunny thing was language for the halftime performance. And the WWE has found a fun way to deal with that actively with a character that everyone loves and still everyone could be jealous with because the Dominic Mysterio is out there now playing with Stephanie Vaquer and Stephanie Vaquer could play off of Dirty Dom. And it just felt fun. It felt really cool because it was more about physical action, how they've been using Dom and Liv and they get in those weird, awkward physical scenarios. And this time it's more about words and you know, going back and forth between promos, which still works very well for we had this question in Match Club, like, who do you like more, Dom or Rhea or Dom and Liv? If we get more of these segments, I'm going to love Dom and Liv more.
What did you say, Daddy Dom? What did you say? I said that he's a bitch. It was so good. I really love that segment. However, Sancho, leave it to Santi to throw a little bit of water on what is a fun fire. Where's Raquel? Where's Raquel?
La Ruda.
We need La Ruda here.
You're like the guy that we had a great meal and you're gonna ask the waiter for like something off the table, off the ticket because you had a problem with something. That's you. That's you.
Did I not make a valid request here from the restaurant after my succulent Chinese meal? Where is Raquel? Am I not due a Raquel Rodriguez with my succulent Spanish meal?
Isn't it hard eating a food at a restaurant with somebody that has like little problems with something and they start off the meal with a problem? You're like,
buddy,
oh,
that's Sarah and cilantro. We can't go to a Mexican place unless she immediately says no cilantro. And like, it's a Mexican place, so most things have cilantro. And unfortunately, a lot of places have cilantro already baked into the ingredients. So we can't get like cilantro-less guac at many places. So it's already a problem because she's got that weird like Viking gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, apparently, which like I don't get because cilantro is great.
Yeah, and the whole meal goes downhill. You're like, the waiter's going to hate us. They're going to spit in our food. They're going to put hair in it. Yeah.
It happens every time. She has to ask for no cilantro, and I'm like, man, I know somebody back there is pissed. Somebody back there is mad that we're messing with their Krabby Patty secret formula by removing the cilantro on things.
But La Ruda.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're talking about Raquel, not cilantro in Mexican restaurants.
But that still leans into the idea because, you know, so far Tiffy and Rhea are in the chamber.
Yeah.
Raquel has to be in the chamber, right? To keep that momentum going?
I guess.
She can't just disappear.
And like we've seen, like you've already posted or talked about, I should say, with Rhea just being like, I'm in this match. And everybody's like, oh, okay. You could do that with Raquel. Sure. Like, All right, okay. Hey, she could go into the chamber. Maybe she loses and, maybe Judgment Day once again gets involved, costs her the match inadvertently once again. And maybe that could be like Raquel taking the contract, putting her name in it like Rhea did last year.
I do not like how they put Raquel and Liv on SmackDown to put Jordan Grace and Jade over. Like, why? When you have Lash Legend and Nia Jax to take that bullet for you.
Yeah, I didn't like that either because I've never once bought to the idea of Liv picking Jade. If there was actual like, ooh, who's she actually going to pick? I actually don't know who she's going to pick. Then maybe that could have worked. But in this scenario, like she shouldn't be picking anybody that isn't Stephanie Vaquette. Stephanie is 1,000,000% the correct choice.
You're talking about when Jey Uso was talking about maybe I could pick Cody. You're like, yeah,
okay, yeah, all right. You know what I do want, like, to add a little bit of extra zest to this feud. I would like for WWE to take this Liv, Dom, and Stephanie feud and give it some time to shine in AAA. I'm not saying like the full build in AAA, but like a segment in AAA would be pretty sweet. We have new mixed tag team champions. Maybe you send Dom and Liv to have a mixed tag team championship match, and
with Stephanie Vaquette.
Stephanie Vaquette gets involved and stops them from winning. Just something to further build on the telenovela aspect of this, right? And add more of that Latino flavor. It seems that everybody nowadays is wanting to have dos cervezas, por favor, after the Bad Bunny concert. So let's just add more Latin flavor to this.
I feel like it's becoming much watched at AAA because it's becoming more ingrained into weekly television. Like the whole Grande Americano thing, Corey Graves is that bridge between everything because he keeps talking about it, right? And it's so interesting to me that they're weaving it all in, but it's mad confusing because
it's two universes. It's two universes happening.
It's an incursion that's happening. Grande Americano, babyface in WWE, heel in AAA. Like they don't want nothing to do with him.
Not heel. He is the worst thing to have happened to Mexico ever, apparently. He is getting legendary heat in Mexico.
Where do you pay that off then? Where do you pay off Grande? Like, is it a Mania match or Tripla Mania?
I think you do the unmasking of OG at WrestleMania so that OG, whoever that ends up being, allegedly Chad Gable, can go back to being Chad Gable, allegedly. And then you can run Chad Gable versus El Grande at Triple Mania. Just part 1 at WrestleMania, part 2 at Triple Mania. But what I would present to thee is that by Triple Mania time, you find a way to put the AAA title on Chad Gable and make El Grande Americano versus Chad Gable for the AAA title and crown El Grande Americano there. It would be massive. It would be huge. Dude, the heat that Chad Gable could get as an all-American dude, who was pretending to be a luchador, running around with a AAA championship there for a little while, leading into Triple Mania would be awesome. It'd be awesome. I do think you need part 1 at WrestleMania, part 2 at Triple Mania.
Okay. I like that. Call us up, WWE.
Anytime.
We got you.
Anytime. But it's so funny what an alternate universe it is. Like complete the moral sphere totally turned upside down on one brand versus the other, where a tall El Grande is like a victim, getting chained down by OG and OG taking the spot. There's some good stuff happening down there in AAA. It's good. It's good. Let's move on here. We had an interesting development on Monday Night Raw when it comes to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have Becky and AJ happening at Chamber. So I made a video. I do this every 3 months where I try to predict the WrestleMania match. And in that video, I said that I think we're going to be getting Becky versus AJ at WrestleMania. But in that video, I also said, but don't be surprised if they also do it at Elimination Chamber. Because what I'm sniffing here, Sancho, in the air, is AJ Lee winning the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber in front of the Chicago crowd, the big pop, her return to singles competition, so that then she can have a program where she's there on a semi-weekly basis because it's the build-up to Mania, similar to how Roman Reigns is actually doing a semi-full-time schedule leading into Mania. And then she can drop it at Mania to whoever it is that she ends up facing off against. Maybe it's Becky Lynch again. Maybe it's a fatal four-way with Natty, Maxine, Becky, and AJ Lee.
Lyra.
Sure.
Love for Lyra?
I'll take Lyra. So she can drop it at Mania so that the winner after WrestleMania is a full-time person that is going to be there every single week. So I actually could absolutely see a world where AJ Lee wins the Intercontinental Championship here.
I was wondering, what's the play here? Why have Becky and AJ Lee go for the IC title? Is it to add prestige? Is it for that drop off, like you mentioned, which I do agree with you? Because if you're looking at it, Maxine had the title, and then Lyra was around in that vortex, and I thought maybe Natty could add a little bit of friction in there, have some fun, but I don't know. And it's interesting how so many people dislike AJ Lee's promo ability, but I kind of like it. And I
know why you like it. I know why you like it.
Why do I like it?
And I said this in the Raw review on patreon.com/SantiZap.
You said Sancho would probably like it? Is that what you said?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I said that she has the quote, quirky, cutesy, millennial humor. Sancho, that is you to a T. You are male, cutesy, millennial humor. Tell me I'm wrong.
I said the reason why I liked it because it balances out Becky's craziness, bonkers.
You're quirky millennial. You were into that. I didn't like it.
Are you talking about like a Zooey Deschanel type New Girl?
I've never seen that.
You never seen New Girl?
No. I should. I've heard it's good.
You should.
I've heard it's good, but it's the like, oh, I'm a millennial that doesn't fully know what's going on here. This is funny. This is quirky.
I'm a millennial.
It's Sancho promo. I hated it.
Why? You gotta embrace what AJ Lee presents. She's not. If Becky Lynch is bonkers, you can't have two bonker people going at it. It doesn't make sense. You got to have someone that brings in the bass, the low notes.
You think that's the low notes? I think it's also kind of weirdly bonkers in a different way.
I enjoy that it's different. It's not like I'm here to tell you about why I'm the best and you're not the best and I am the best. You suck.
Okay, I'll tell you. I think my problem with the AJ Lee promo, it's not even so much the quirkiness of it. I think it's just she just takes too damn long to get to the point. I think that's part of the problem. I actually think that it was even infuriating Becky that Becky got to the point for her. Like, I think Becky's like, okay, stop it. I know what you're doing. You just want a match. All right, match at Elimination Chamber. I think Becky just like skipped over everything that AJ Lee wanted to say because she was taking too damn long. Too damn long, Sancho.
You gotta have more
screams
time.
at clouds.
Give her more time. This is a overall WWE problem.
But what time is there to give when she's there every 4 months?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no house shows. Cody said this to the moon. A million times I've seen so many clips of Cody on his podcast talking about we need more house shows to work things out. So if she had, they love to throw out the city Poughkeepsie. If they had a promo in Poughkeepsie, they can iron that kind of stuff out before they throw it onto weekly television. I just enjoyed it because it's different. It's different. It's not your typical diva. It's not your typical women's promo where she's reacting naturally to what Becky is saying. And you would react that way to someone acting like that bonkers. You would just go like, what are you doing type of thing. And I enjoyed the ride it had because it is that difference of yin and yang, Batman Joker that we're getting out of Becky and AJ Lee that is playing out really nicely. But I think people are not used to AJ Lee's delivery. Yeah. And you have your little TikTok 5 second, 6 second brain length or whatever tolerance that you can't handle something, letting it breathe a little bit, Santi. Get to the point so I can clip it and I can post it on IG so I can get all my views. Get to the point.
The problem, Sancho, is it's not that she takes too long to get to the point, it's that she doesn't get to the damn point, which is why Becky Lynch stepped in. I also said this in the review. I also said I don't think that this is a bad promo. I just don't think that this is a Santi style promo. I don't like it, but I also said I could see people liking this, and it's not for me. It's not for me.
You like the Stephanie Vadker. You like the drama, Liv Morgan. You want people out there calling each other names, being a little bit more taboo, towing the line. You want someone to say some kind of reference to some podcast from years ago.
You know what, fine, Sancho? You love it so much.
I don't love it so much. I said I like it.
You love it so much.
I like it.
Here is, okay, hang with me for a second.
You're acting like AJ Lee now.
Hang on for a second.
Here it goes.
I think, and I don't think that this is too crazy to say. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe.
You're so adorable when you're doing this, by the way. I love it.
I'll do the podcast like this for the rest of the show. Maybe
You're so cute. Look at this.
Maybe. I think that is that what you want? I think that might be what you want. I think that might be what we might be asking for here.
Wow, you got some layers to you.
I'm actually not bad at this, right?
Yeah, you're not bad at it.
I don't like that. It's not my jam, but I won't yuck on your yums. But you will not force me to yum on your yucks or yum on my yucks. I'm moving on.
Yum on my yums, brother.
Yum on my yums. my lovely lady yums. Check it out.
You're not gonna force me to yum on your yums.
I ain't yumming on your yums at any time, Sancho.
Yum away, brother. Yum away. Skip around the room, dude. Let's skip around the room. Light it up. It frustrates me. This old internet community, all the people out there. You wanted AJ Lee back. What were you expecting? A revolutionary promo? No,
okay, her promos were not like this back then. This is like another level.
She was a heel. Yeah, she was rusty.
People have gaslit themselves into saying that, like, oh, what do you mean this was always been? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not always like this.
First off, when she was a champion, she was on weekly television. She was on the road. She got mic time, and she was able to work her way through. And that style of promo worked for that division at the time. But people are expecting the moon from her when she can't hit home runs every time she's out there. Like, I hate to break it to you. She's not like she is like, it's impossible to do that when you have a Becky Lynch out there who is out there. She's actually hitting home runs, but she gets all the reps, brother. She's got a lot of reps going into that. Remember when Becky Lynch was seemingly 2 years ago cutting wonky whack promos? If AJ Lee was more full time, she would get back into form. Okay,
I'm not disagreeing with your logic, but if you put out a pitcher in the World Series and he hasn't
a Blue Jays pitcher,
fuck off, and he hasn't pitched all season. And he lets a bunch of home runs in the World Series in one of the games. What am I supposed to be like? Oh, he's just rusty. You know, he needs more reps. It's like, well, then why is he out there if he needs more reps?
Because he's a name. It's AJ Lee. It's a name.
No, all I'm saying is that for me, that's never been an excuse
it's
of
for
their
the
rusty.
IC title. It's for the IC title. What are we talking about? It's not for a world title.
That's fair. That does help the situation. That does help that it's not for a world title.
It's for the IC title. It's for Becky and AJ Lee. It's just two names going at it. You don't need a promo, all right? They're adding the card to Chamber.
If you don't need a promo, then why do a 10-minute promo if you don't need one?
It's a layup. AJ Lee's involved. She's out there with Maxine trying to help out. We're gonna get a tag match between Natty and Becky versus Maxine and AJ. All right, we're cooking here. We're in the early throes of it.
All I say is if it's worthy enough to get on TV, I don't think it's crazy to expect it all to be good. And again, you like the AJ Lee style promo. I don't. I know that there's a lot of people that love it, just like I know there's a lot of people that also hate it.
I tolerate it. That's what I'm saying. I enjoyed it. I tweeted it out. I said, this is the perfect balance to the bonkersness of Becky Lynch right now.
I just think it's bonkers with more bonkers, and it's bonkers squared.
Ooh, that's what we are. The bonkers squared.
Bonkers squared. Where else do we want to go? You liking what Javon Evans is doing with the Grande verse? Holy man, that cutter was insane. That was, I think that's like, I don't think it's as good as the Rollins one, you know, with the stomp, flip it into the air, into the RKO. But I think this might be the second greatest RKO cutter that I've ever seen, ever. Incredible. But now he's in the Grande verse, in the weird Grande verse, where OG is the good guy.
I do feel that this is where I feel So Ruka could excel in too, because it's Javon's in-ring that's getting him over. Like, it's the spots, it's the moments, it's his energy, his vibe. He cuts everything on commercial. So most of the audience doesn't know what he's doing on commercial, but we do because we VPN into it. But I think Javon's in-ring ability is getting him over. He's becoming must-watch on Monday Night Raw. And I feel like So Ruka could be the same kind of thing going forward, because So Ruka gets the spots like she did at Rumble. But for Javon, I feel like the reason why this is working so well is, you know, he was, 40 minutes plus in the Rumble. His building momentum, right? And I feel like not a lot of people in that Rumble in 2026, I would see that's my biggest criticism of it, are building momentum outside of the Rumble. I can't think of anyone else besides the main eventers that are building momentum right now in that Rumble. Can you name me a guy or girl that was in that Rumble that's building momentum? I think Kiana James did a great.
Yeah, maybe Kiana.
She did a great job in that tag match. I feel like she had a little bit of sauce going. Even though Ivy Nile was she in the Rumble?
Yeah, she was. She didn't do much.
Okay. She didn't do much, but she has momentum after that Rhea and Lyra match. I don't think Lyra has any momentum after Rumble. It doesn't feel that Becky has momentum. I think Natty has momentum, but it was still a strange match for her to jump out at Maxine. I thought that they would give Natty a squash match before Maxine to show like, hey, let's get into what makes her badass. I didn't like that it was a Maxine, it was a count out. I like the sharpshooter on the table. Forget who did Bret Hart do that to? Was it Stone Cold? Did the sharpshooter on the table?
On the table? I don't remember if that was on the table.
Yeah, I know that they had the one in the ring where he's bloody, but I kind of like the vibe that they're going for. Like it felt like an Owen Hart, Black Hart type of situation where Natty Hart was doing out there, Neidhart was doing out there. And then, Natty now is involved with AJ, Lee, and Becky. So that's kind of the momentum going for that, but not a lot. I would say Javon Evans has the most momentum, has the most motion. You could argue Oba having some motion after Rumble, taking out the War Raiders and still being a sought after thing. I wish the GMs got involved more, like let them trying to get Oba and get him in his graces, like promise Oba a title match, like do something like that to make it feel like it's sports agents. Like, hey man, sign with us. I'll give you a title match right away, or sign with us and you get to pick what you want to do, or whatever. That would be an interesting track that I don't think like wrestling explores a lot. And I think that's what made CM Punk and Roman so good, because it's kind of feels like they talked about the business of wrestling a little bit. I could choose you because you're the biggest star, or yada yada yada, but I choose you because I hate you. So I want that a little bit for going forward for Oba Femi. But to answer your question, I love Javon. I love it.
I said this in what would be coming out on Tuesday's video on YouTube, was that one of the things that I'm liking about Javon, even though he still feels a little bit directionless in terms of like programming, feud, storylines, things like that, is that his offense has not been nerfed. One of the things that I see a lot happen, especially with high flyers that go from NXT to the main roster, perfect example who's on the news right now, Ricochet, when they get to the main roster, they don't get to do half the cool shit they were doing in NXT. They get nerfed, they get neutered, they become shell of themselves in terms of the cool stuff that they were able to do. Not Javon. It feels like Javon, they're allowing him to do the cool stuff, the stuff that, like you said, the physicality that's getting him over, the matches that are getting him over. It's not because he's winning matches, it's because he's doing really cool stuff in these matches that's getting him over. And that's a nice transition, even though we're not seeing the transition of like Trick from NXT right to the main roster, or Oba from NXT right to the main roster, Jordan Grace NXT right to not to the main roster, to the main event scene. All three of those call-ups to the main event scene. Javon is getting like a more traditional call-up, but I'm very optimistic because one of the reasons that he got so over in NXT was his wild moveset. And seeing that wild moveset translate to the main roster, not get neutered, not get nerfed, I do think that we're going to see a slow burn with Javon, but that will get him over. It will work because it's what worked in NXT. It wasn't day one in NXT. He wasn't world championship going after world titles in NXT day one. It took a little while. It took showcasing him, matches, and people fell in love with the offense, and we might be seeing that here happening with the main roster. If he's going to keep doing insane moves like that cutter, how can you not get over? I get your argument with Sol Ruca, but I think Sol Ruca is going to be a Trick, an Oba, a Jordan Grace, where it is going to be right to the main event, where she doesn't need to win people over with her cool moves, because I think they're going to put her right in the main event and get the cool moves.
I feel like Javon reminds me when I would watch a Black and Gold NXT clip on Twitter. Like if I wasn't into wrestling right now and I was a casual, super casual fan and just watching the big four PLEs, and I would see that clip of him doing the interception cutter, I would go, oh, damn, I need to check out more Javon matches. I want to see Javon wrestle more. Let me tune into Monday Night Raw.
That was what got me into NXT. Oh my God, who is this Sami Zayn guy? Cesaro's like doing some crazy stuff with him. Those clips got you into NXT, and boom, you got You got brainwashed by how good Black and Gold was because of that. So,
are you in the Black and Gold era yet? Are you in it?
It starts at Black and Gold. Takeover is like Black and Gold right off of day one. But you know what was a bummer? And I kind of, maybe I'll do this as a bonus episode on the Patreon. The first Takeover is not what I thought the first Takeover was. I thought the first Takeover was main evented by Neville and Bo Dallas in their ladder match. But that was like their first premium show, but it didn't have the name Takeover. It was like NXT Arrival or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then they started NXT TakeOver. But the series is NXT TakeOver main events, which means I bypassed the main event of NXT Arrival. So maybe later down the line, maybe towards the end of the series, maybe I'll go back to NXT Arrival as a bonus episode and add that to the list, even though it's not technically a TakeOver main event. Little side tangent there.
Okay.
Where do we want to go? Dude, where, Sancho, where in the world is Powerhouse Hobbs?
Royce Keys.
They interesting piece of like detail, like in the endless Royal Rumble recap videos that they keep doing on Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown was egregious with the recaps this week, by the way. They showed Powerhouse Hobbs's debut in the Rolodex of NXT appearances. Not in the like, oh, look what Oba did. Look at what Javon did. Look at what Lash Legend did. No, there was like a little like stinger package of like, here was JC, here was Kalani, here's who else was in there? Here's Sol Ruka going to the final two. Here's Royce Keys. I was like, oh, they have him with all the NXT people. Are we thinking now Royce Keys goes to NXT? I didn't think that was possible because it felt like they kind of rolled out the red carpet a little too heavily for him on this Royal Rumble where it kind of screamed main roster. I don't think that you do that for an NXT debut on the Royal Rumble. But I will say I look at the three brands and the one that needs them the most is NXT. There is a massive power reset on the main event scene on the men's side of NXT with the loss of Trick, Oba, and Javon. That if you look at the ladder match that they had, which was fun, the regular viewer only probably knew two of them, in Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry, because then you have new guys. LFG call-up Shiloh Hill, LFG call-up Keanu Carver, Evolve call-up Jackson Drake, Evolve call-up in Sean Legacy, and then it's still a fairly newer guy on NXT in Dion Lennox. It kind of like highlighted the lack of established talent on NXT. Now, NXT has been through this. They go through what I call the nuclear fallout every single time. But NXT, they're cockroaches, brother. They always survive. They always survive these resets, brand resets, going from Black and Gold to Rainbow, then going back to different colors, reset in the main event, tons of call-ups that leave the roster of NXT into a barren wasteland. They always bounce back and they always survive. But I think this is a year where I think the right move, the most bang for your buck right now, where you're going to get the most out of Royce Keys, I think it's NXT. Thoughts? Am I wrong in this assessment?
I think if you want to help out good old Joe Hendry, I think you give him Royce Keys. I think that'll be a fun back and forth because you cannot keep dipping into Ricky Saints because Ricky Saints, I don't know if he could take L's that much anymore. You think like he needs to come up to the main roster soon, and I think if you added Royce Keys to that gives Ricky Saints an ability to detach, to go, my time is done, and go away, you know? Because I feel like the longer he stays there, it's going to be a Jordan Gray situation. Like, what's wrong with Ricky Saints?
Yeah.
Why is he not? Or even Ethan Page.
Yeah. I could see Ricky Saints and Ethan Page being call-ups post-Mania. Like, let them work, stand, and deliver. Because if you take those two away right now, holy stand and deliver, that roster is not stand and deliver worthy yet, you know? Like that's their mania. Like men's side, women's side, totally fine. But men's side, you remove those two names from the stand and deliver season, and we got a rough patch here for NXT, which they will weather, even if they do remove them, because they always do. But yeah, I think Royce Keys here, I think is a valuable add.
As someone as the NXT guy for Here Wrestling is Cool, Where did you think they went wrong with developing the men's roster? Was it too much focus on the Javons and the Trick and the Oba? And was it the TNA crossover that kind of slowed down the development? Because they kind of dipped into that LFG thing so hard. I wasn't expecting LFG to show up to the roster so quickly after their entire run on AMC, whatever. I was like, oh, this is a cool show. It's cool to see that they have season 1, season 2, and Shiloh's going to continue development. Then all of a sudden, boom, they're on NXT. And I don't know. I feel like, not really believing in Chance U from an outsider's perspective, not really believing in Chance U, not believing in Tony D and the family type of thing, and dropping that gimmick so hard because you have to prepare it for the main roster. Where do you think they didn't follow up? Like, where did the draft class go wrong? How come they didn't reload so easily this time around?
I think part of the problem was the North American championship scene wasn't being used to develop the next guy as well as it could have been, because they used the North American scene for a year to develop only Obafemi, basically. Obafemi held the thing for a long time, boom, called up, and then the follow-ups after Oba weren't great. Tony D'Angelo, they didn't do much with him. Ricky Saints, that's not a guy that's being developed by the North American Championship, right? Like that, he's not helped by that because he is a guy that could just be in the main event. Ethan Page, same thing. He's not helped by the North American Championship. So you've got a division that's supposed to be the launch pad for the NXT men's main event scene that was not being used very well in that regard, in my opinion. So once, Trick and Oba, two guys that were developed by the North American Championship scene, were in the main event and removed from it entirely, and you took the guy that would have been the next guy up in the main event scene in Javon Evans with you, it left just such a power vacuum that couldn't be filled quickly enough because they didn't have those next guys up that were being developed by the North American Championship scene. That, to me, is fundamental problem number one, like the biggest one right now, which is why these guys that were in the ladder match that you would normally have put in the North American Championship scene, they had to scramble and put them in the main event scene. Now, my hope is once the main event scene starts to, like when a planet gets struck by a meteor, it turns into lava and it starts to reshape. Once things start to cool down and you figure out, okay, these 3-4 guys are going to be our main event scene, Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, Royce Keys, Ethan Page, whatever it might be. Let's take all those other guys that were in the ladder match and then some, and let's put them all in the North American Championships and develop them so that once Royce Keys, Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, Joe Hendry leave, we've got a natural transition from the mid-card to the main event. That's what was missing this time around. There was a lack, a void in the mid-card that could have transitioned into the main event scene of NXT.
Do you think that's what's hurting Raw right now? Because Dom's been on ice for a long time?
Big time. I mean, they're lucky that their main event scene is so strong that they don't need like this influx of mid-carders to go after the main event because they have enough main eventers there. But, let's talk about in a nuclear apocalypse situation where a lot of these guys get injured. We have one right now in Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns being a part-timer. You would like to be able to dip into the well of those mid-carders. Luckily, they don't have to right now to bring them up to the main event scene. I think they would be hurt by that. Actually, we have a decent example of it right now. Finn Balor. He wasn't being developed properly in the mid-card to take this next step to the main event scene. Like you said, he's just Finn Balor. He just appeared there. So that can be a problem for these like B-tier PLEs when you're building to something bigger further down the line. When you could dip into the well of your mid-card to give them a chance at the main event scene. I think that Raw is struggling in that regard.
Do you think that SmackDown? I think SmackDown's making a huge mistake by not doing open challenges. Like they didn't do one because it was a Miz non-title match.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
I said that
something that works.
Yeah, I do the SmackDown post show now with Denise, and that's one of the things that I said. I said okay, the match was fine, but the heart and soul of SmackDown has been this open challenge. You remove that, it kind of hurt the episode, even if it was a good match.
But
if you do want, hey, we need a mid-card guy for one Saturday night's main event cycle against Drew McIntyre. They got a way better pick of the litter on SmackDown than they do on Raw. Because wouldn't you be excited for a Saturday night's main event if it was like Drew McIntyre versus Carmelo Hayes or Drew McIntyre versus Ilya Dragunov? Hell yeah, dude. Why not? Absolutely. That's because they have a well-developed mid-card that Raw right now, because of a lack of Dominic, doesn't have. And to go back to the original, a talking point here, that NXT didn't have for quite a while there. And now they're seeing the real pains of not having grown their mid-card as well as they should have.
So why not just leech on to the ladies? Like, let the ladies lead the charge and let them be the main event.
I think they are. I think they probably should be. If they're going to run, let's say Sol Ruca versus Zarya, let's say Sol Ruca wins the NXT championship between now and Stand and Deliver, and they tell a great story of the heel turn, jealousy, Sol Ruca, Zarya. I can't think of a match from the men's side right now that should main event over that at Stand and Deliver. They totally could rely on the women here, 100%.
All right, cool.
Yeah, just catching up the world in NXT. You have here in the show notes, Julia Lifeline is Io. Can you expand on this?
Sure. So when I was watching that tag team match, because I do the reviews on SmackDown, I was really thinking like, wow, this is what she needs. This match right here. When they had that tag match and Julia and Io were standing off and Julia was doing her stuff against Io, it made Julia so much better. Like, we've watched so much Stardom matches on the Match Club and we were like, okay, these matches are fire. Why not have Julia just have a fire match against Io? It worked with Io and Stephanie Vaquer so many times when Io was just sat there and like, I want to challenge, and out comes Stephanie Vaquer. I think that's what's missing. Julia doesn't just not have the right playmate or like a partner in a dance to go off to show off what she can do her best, and that dance partner is Io Sky. And I thought, if Io Sky is going to take a back seat to the rise of Rhea Ripley again, and then Rhea Ripley and Io are going to have a fallout at Chamber that leading to maybe a match at Mania, why not have a little pit stop in the lane of Julia just to help Julia out, just to get us acclimated to what Julia can do on the main roster? Because in NXT, Julia got acclimated really well to NXT because she had Stephanie Vaquer, who's used to that strong style type of Josie type of wrestling. So why not we have that kind of thing with Io Sky? Like, I really feel like that's a good kind of, I guess, a splinter off that road for Io to get her back into like some hard-hitting matches, so that way Io doesn't feel like she's lost a little bit of her luster by giving her Julia. And at the same time, maybe Kiana James could finally leave Julia. I mean, there's just so many opportunities there that when I saw them together and I saw Julia being a heel towards Io, I was like, this works for Julia much more than anything that they've done, even giving her the United States title.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the perfect example of like, man, like, what a missed opportunity with the Women's United States Championship scene. Sancho, can you thought exercise?
Sure.
List out the Women's United States Championship scene.
The championship teams on the world level or the mid-card level?
No, the United States Championship scene on the women's. Like, list it out. Who's actually in it?
Michin, Beef,
injured, off TV. I'll stop you. I'll stop.
Wait. You could say Kiana if they do a turn, but that's it.
The answer is there's no one. Really, the answer is no one, because Michin is off TV, BFAB is off TV, and Kiana is the consigliere of Julia. There is no one there. They were
fodder for Jade Cargill.
Yes,
remember?
There's literally no division right now, and that to me is such a missed opportunity right now, because it's annoying because they're focusing on the women's tag team scene to be the mid card, which means that if WWE wanted to, they could have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss be in the Women's United States Championship scene if they wanted to, because they're currently in the mid-card. It's just that they're in a different place of the mid-card as opposed to going after the mid-card championships. There are so many opportunities right now that WWE could do with Julia, but they're instead doing it for the women's tag team championship scene. But like, if you told me that like Io Sky is going after the women's United States championship, that Rhea Ripley is going after the women's United States championship, that Alexa Bliss is going after the United States championship, that Charlotte Flair is going after the United States championship, right now because they are already in the mid card, all of that stuff makes sense. It would absolutely work, and it could lead to cool matches like you have suggested here with with Io Sky and Julia. Might I add too, like, I know that the chemistry between Io Sky and Julia was excellent. So was Julia and Rhea. Like, this just proves, like, give her bodies to work with. Give her names to work with. You can't build the division off of BFAB and Michin. You can't. You simply can't.
And Chelsea Green. All right. Chelsea's in the mix too, but Chelsea's in a weird spot. But I agree with you. But like, if they had Julia and Io Sky and Io does win, and then what if Io does open challenges? Like, it's really not that hard with the United States title. Just give it open challenges for both men and women.
How sick would it be if it was Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley United States Championship match at WrestleMania? You got your singles match. It doesn't have to be for the world title. You got your singles match that you want for between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, and you get to have your cake and eat it too, because then you get to feature Raquel and Liv and Stephanie and Jade and Bianca and Tiffany on the other side of things.
What if Julia has an open challenge and out comes an NXT person? That'd be sick. Develop that, right?
I'll take it. Yeah, I think somebody said to me, like, oh, the United States Championship, like the whole gimmick on the men's and the women's side should be a forced open challenge.
Should be.
So even if you're a heel, you got to do an open challenge, which I'm like, initially I was like, but then after seeing how good the open challenge has been for the mid card on SmackDown for the men's side, I've got no argument against it for the women's side.
Julia versus Kendall Gray for the United States title.
Dude, that would burn. That would burn the house down. That'd be sick. Absolutely.
Because you got 3 hours. All right. You got 3 hours of SmackDown. That'd be a great first hour. Men's open challenge the second hour, and then main event third.
But no, we need 35 minutes of recaps. That's what we need on SmackDown. Again,
WWE. Which one of you is on the podcast, on the Patreon? Someone in the WWE. One of you is. And it's Jey Uso.
Speaking of Jey Uso, seems like Jimmy may have written himself out with the Usos. I almost said the Jusos. They're not made of juice. The Usos defeated Alpha Academy. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for Alpha Academy in that match. But here we are, immediately after the match. Hotel Cuck Chair Jimmy is like, I know that we won. Hey, but hey, Jay, you gotta go to Elimination Chamber. You gotta win and go to WrestleMania and be the main eventer again and win the World Championship. And I just gotta ask, why did we give them the titles if we're using their title reign to build Jey Uso's singles run? You were already on Jey Uso's singles run. So why go and pivot to reuniting the Usos, which is, by the way, one of like your only bullets that you had in the chamber to revive the Raw tag team division, and you fired it, and you have already fucking miserably failed with it. And now you're using the reunion of the Usos to build Jey Uso as a single star. What are we doing? Here's the thing, Sancho. I don't hate that Jey Uso going after the main event scene. That's what he is. That's what he's been for the past year and a bit. What I hate is this notion of bringing back the Usos, giving them the tag titles only for it to just be a catalyst to build Jey for more singles run. I don't get it.
I do feel that it's a lot of it. There's a lot of behind the scenes drama. I think Jimmy and Naomi, all that is a big factor in here. Then it's like an issue that no one's really touching on in the WWE. I think they're being tight-lipped about it. And I think to push back on that gently and respectfully with peace and love, then why give Jimmy the title knowing that there is a pregnancy around the corner that he is going to eventually leave anyway?
I agree.
What it tells me is something that I've been developing for a YouTube video on my Sancho West Wrestling is I feel that the WWE has gotten complacent in the way they book things where they know what's the end game. And I think they are so adamant about holding on to their fantastic in-game idea, the payoff of the Usos and the splintering of Jimmy and Jay, or Jay going off to the main event, that they rather sacrifice the division to hold on to that ending. Same thing with Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio's injury, and there's a reason why back in the day, if you were injured and you didn't defend the title within 30 days, you vacated that title. I'm thinking that they are holding on to some kind of ending with Dominic Mysterio in the IC title that they don't want to put the title on anybody else. And this is the situations that we have, is the WWE books for endings, and then they try to figure it out along the way, rather than let's figure out what we got now and where to go. The most ideal thing to do, Santi, is just to put the titles on Alpha Academy and let them do their thing, and then have Motor City or have whatever Roar Waiters, whatever you want to put out there, to just have that notion, to keep that motion going. But it is interesting to me that again, the Rumble is such a weird catalyst to things that are happening now, when literally Jay gets double crossed by Roman and doesn't acknowledge that, and instead is like, we're happy for family. And I know he said that in a commercial, but there's still no follow-up to the Rumble. And I think that's what always hurts Rumbles when you think about it. Like the 2012 Rumble, the follow-up to that was Sheamus beating Daniel Bryan in 12 seconds. That hurt that Rumble. When you go back in time, you're like, yeah, Sheamus beat Jericho, but it really doesn't matter because Mania didn't happen. So here we are again. The follow-ups to Rumble for 2026 haven't been strong. And I think that's where we're at with it. And it was a fine match. And I think someone said in my watch party, I think it was Spapples, shout out to Spapples, says that was just a regular match that didn't feel like it had any kind of title drama to it. And the only drama that people are picked up on is Jey Uso missing the super kick on the big Otis Worm, which I say that's pretty tough timing to do. Like, regardless.
Hey, you ever try to super kick a Worman man? It's hard.
I think I sat there and go, like, that's stuff that you work out on house shows, because like what Undertaker told Cody is like, that's a tough spot to just do in the first time. And I think it just came down to timing. I mean, yeah, you're a pro wrestler, but that's tough. It's a lot of motion going. I'm not making excuses for Jay, but how many people listening right now could hit that spot? I don't know. Not me.
No, I don't think I could either. Yeah, I think for me, just the annoying thing about all of this is that it's still all just about Jay. And they shouldn't have pulled the trigger on the reunification of the Usos if you were just going to build towards Jay being the main eventer while they're tag team champions and still coming out to Jay's theme. This doesn't feel like the Usos. This just feels like the Jay Uso show. This feels like Jay Uso featuring Jimmy.
What's the payoff then? It's a fun game. What's the payoff here?
That's a great question.
Is it Roman beating Punk, which could happen, right? At Mania, and is Jay going after Roman then? I'm just saying.
No, I'm not blaming you. It just like that just like drew out a visceral, gross like reaction out of me.
This is the ingredients we have here that were being presented. The last thing we had was Roman. Okay, for everyone forget that, because it happens so many times that Roman leaves. The last time he left, he was dogging Jay for wanting to be not being a main event. And it was like, don't listen to anybody, listen to yourself. You need to understand, like, step up. You're a main event. Don't trust anybody. Stop being friends with people. Don't even listen to your brother Jimmy, right? Be like the tribal chief. And what happened? That fell away to wayside during War Games. I don't know what happened with that. But are we going to get that paid off? Because that's what I'm waiting for. That payoff for Jey Uso to realize that he hasn't been main event, Jey Uso.
I think you're falling into the fallacy and the belief that there has to be a payoff. It's funny because I had a viewer actually bring this up to me during the Monday Night Raw live stream, where they said, hey, this Finn Balor thing has to go somewhere. They wouldn't start this without there being a payoff. To which I said, oh, young summer child, do you believe that WWE is not capable of starting something without paying it off? Because they absolutely can do that. And they do it sadly very, very often, where they start things and there is no payoff. And Sancho, I think this is one of those. I don't think that there is that payoff.
I'm going to bring up Shinsuke and Tama Tonga. I like that build. It was going to somewhere interesting where they were bringing up New Japan stuff, and they had those cool, city background type of backstage segment. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is something cook here. And then when they had their match, I was like, where's the payoff? It had the same MFT shenanigans, and they didn't give them like a New Japan type of promo package of Shinsuke Tama Tonga. Is the payoff for Tama Tonga to be United States title holder? Is that why we ate Shinsuke here? So I think that's where I'm at right now with a lot of things. It's like, what are we doing? And sometimes when dust gets paid off, Santi, when we finally get that Shinsuke and Tama Tonga match, it still felt lack of a little saison, right? Little taste. Did you like that match?
I thought I mean, it just sort of felt it felt like it was leading to something different when the end result was just another MFT match.
Yes.
You know, I thought we were going to get something unique that we haven't seen on the roster before because of the build was unique and different with this very much undertones of Japan and New Japan, etc. But what we ended up getting, even though the build was a very New Japan heavy build, was just a WWE cookie cutter MFT type of match. So the build didn't match the outcome.
I would have appreciated if Tama did win the United States title and then Shinsuke answers the open challenge of one of the things. I'd be like, "Ooh, here we go, finally!" And they just threw it out the window.
Man,
you know
I would love for Tama to win the United States title. You want to know why? Because if there is a heel that would want to keep the open challenge, wouldn't it be Tama?
Hell yeah.
Right? Like if let's say Trick wins it. Trick is a smart heel. Like, no, I'm not putting the title on the line. You guys got to go through, jump all the hoops. I'm wearing the lemon pepper wepa steppas. You don't get me every week. I'm the champion, right? And that would make sense for Trick. But Tama has that Tasmanian devil in him. Like, give me more. Yeah. And him continuing the open challenge as a heel would actually be narratively plausible.
But wouldn't it be Roman Light with all the other MFTs running around? Little shenanigans. It's gonna be MFT rules.
Sure, maybe, but that'd be neat. Maybe a little bit different in the main event. Sorry, in the mid card scene with Bloodline rules playing out with the likes of Ilya and Carmelo and the Miz. And we'd be having different characters.
And Uncle Howdy.
I
recently saw Bray Wyatt cut a promo in the last ever Ryback in Review. It was Kane, Ryback, The Big Show versus Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. No, I'm sorry. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Gotta say, dude, Uncle Howdy, as much as he is who he is, Bray Wyatt is Bray Wyatt, man.
Yeah. Do you like that Stephanie Vaca's entrance now is very, very Kane-like? The explosion, the fire.
Poor Dom, bro.
He did not see it coming.
You didn't know this? You didn't see Dom? Dom does not like pyro in real life. He hates pyro.
I believe it. He reacted very, very realistically to that.
When the Judgment Day, remember they had the bum, 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 dun, 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 bam, right? And the big pyro would go off right before the thing. He always would cover his ears. Little Dom.
Which I added to his character. Anyways, I wanted to bring that up because I know we're going to do New Heat Order, but I would like to now refer to her as Stephanie Vacane.
Ooh. She did have a pirate corset on. You know what I mean? Very, very Elizabeth Swain type.
What a lie from Liv that Stephanie's not hot enough to wear the hot girls like Dominic Mysterio shirt. Bold-faced lie. Dude,
I want to buy that shirt. Would you wear that shirt? I'll wear that shirt.
I'd wear that shirt.
Pump and iron, dude. You ever saw someone wearing a wrestling shirt? You ever thought, should I go up to them and talk wrestling? And you think, nah, okay.
No, I'm probably not going to like that person.
All right. What wrestling shirt would it be that you would go up to and be like, hell yeah, dude, I'll talk to you for a bit.
It'd have to be something funky and obscure. If they were wearing a Brodus Clay Funkasaurus shirt, I'd be like, all right, I kind of fuck with this guy. Or if they were wearing a Nikki ASH shirt, just something just really out of left field, No Way Jose shirt. I'd be like, okay, all right, I gotta figure out what makes this person who they are.
You know what blows my mind is that, that LA Knight shirt that's black and white and it says, and has them going like that. That was a $30 shirt in the WWE shop. And then it's at Ross for $8. Ross has so much good WWE material for dirt cheap. And I was so mad. I'm like, damn it. I could have had an LA Knight shirt for $8, dude.
Hey.
Damn.
Good things comes to those that wait. Should have waited.
Would you have talked to a weapon man?
No, that's a person I'm staying away from. I do not want anything to do with somebody wearing a Wepa shirt. Because they're not wearing it for the memes. They're wearing it because it
looks cool.
Wepa time makes me lift more. I want nothing to do with the person wearing a Wepa shirt.
Sandy, you have to be careful what shirt you wear to bed. You know what I mean, Sandy? You can't be wearing a Wepa shirt to bed. Because if things get to the Wepa time, you're going to be wearing a Wepa shirt, and that's not a Wepa good time, brother.
Yeah, fair enough. But what about Wepa socks?
WEPA on the other side, on the bottoms.
You have to connect your little toes to make it into a weapon.
I would have bought Stardust gloves, dude. That's one of those merch I would have bought 100%. Now that I have like disposable income, the Stardust gloves were kind of sick.
Do you think that AJ Styles saw gimmick infringement on the Stardust gloves? Hey, I do that. I do that. That's my thing.
No, then what NFL wide receivers had it too, right?
Yeah. All right, let's get the new heat order here.
All right, for those the new heat order, this was last week. It's the buzz excitement. I know it's red and Crayola, but I have a pin. Last week we said that Lash Legend, LA Knight, Raquel, Sol Ruca, Obafemi, AJ, Gunther, Liv, CM Punk, and good old Roman Reigns were at the top of the list. What is the new heat order going into this week, my friend? Who is the hotness, the buzz? Hey, don't you dare turn on this pod.
I saw you leaving. I saw you leaving.
I saw you about to put down the pod. Don't you dare be sour. Clap. Shout outs to Big E for retiring, letting that be cemented that he's officially retired, which is a bummer. It's hard to ask a wrestler to come back after neck fusion. I think that's very selfish for someone to say, "Hey, come back." Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get Elton. I don't think Elton's coming back. No way.
Listen, in my mind, Big E was already retired when the news broke out. I'm like, yeah, what did you guys think? If he didn't come back with the New Day angle, he wasn't ever coming back. That was like the one thing that could have been a catalyst for his return. And if that wasn't it, then he was never coming back.
Who is your number one?
I
think Drew's in the top 5.
Drew was good. Drew was good. Cody Raheem Rhodes line was legendary.
Sure, he beat up Drew a little bit.
Beat up Drew. I'll go Drew number 1. I'll go because I love him getting beat up like multiple times as he kept trying to come out and cut a promo. I thought that was a good bit throughout, like to give us a glimpse at the champion throughout the entire night, and then he finally gets to cut a promo, and it was worthwhile waiting for. And his interaction with Trick Williams, I liked it.
Okay. Any love for our qualifiers, Rhea and LA Knight?
I'd be more inclined to go LA Knight higher.
Okay.
How about Javon Evans?
Oh, at 2?
I mean, there wasn't too much this week. And the thing that's getting replayed over and over and over and over again is that cutter.
Okay. I'm down.
Give me Javon at 2.
At 2. And he has a new catchphrase. You're. All right. Any love for, let's see, Liv and Dom and Stephanie Vacker?
all three.
Okay. You want to call it the Liv and Dom telenovela?
We could do. I wouldn't mind putting Liv Dom together, but Stephanie needs to be different. Stephanie needs to be separated.
You want to put Liv Dom at 3 or at 4?
Yeah, we could do Liv Dom 3. I thought that was one of the better segments. And you also had Liv going over to SmackDown doing the thing there, so she was in the buzz quite a bit this week.
So Stephanie, I don't want to put Stephanie Vaquero right behind. I say Stephanie Vaquero is like at a 6.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to leave that the 4th and 5th spot for like LA Knight.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can put LA Knight here.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, buddy, qualifying to the chamber.
Let's find a spot for Cody here. The promo
Cody
was very good, and the beatdown
Cody
was
at 5?
good. Yeah, let's do Cody at 5.
All right, Cody at 5. All right, and then 6 was Stephanie.
What about any love for AJ Lee, Becky Lynch? Do they crack the top 10 for you? CM Punk, Finn Balor. I mean, we're talking about Finn Balor a lot for the wrong reasons, but we are talking about him. It was a huge portion of the show.
I feel what's an underlying problem with wrestling promos with Adam Pearce is that he treats everybody like children. I'm starting not to like that. Like you have the world title holder, you have this guy, and you're like yelling at them like they're children. And I like Adam Pearce, and I think he does a great job. But they're booking him like he's a teacher, and everyone's running around like on the playground type of thing, sending people home and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like Adam Pearce treats them as equals. He feels like he is the overseer, the warden.
He's not a manager; he's a principal.
Yeah, yeah. And whereas Nick Aldis, he comes off as he sees everybody as equals, right? That's the difference between anyway. Somehow I Manage is a great manager book that Adam Pearce needs to pick up.
Somehow I Manage. Great reference.
Number 7 is opened up for grabs. 8, 9, and 10. It was weird to hear Grande Americano talking English. Really weird.
I mean, the El Grande Americano stuff was big. Like, we could just put Americano verse because it was a huge part of AAA too.
Yeah, Americano verse still rises. Yeah, but I didn't know Grande Americano spoke English. That blew my mind. Really did.
I mean, he's a world travel
my man. He picked up English so fast. 8, 9, 10. Oh, dude, can we put at number 10 Bad Bunny?
I mean, he's a WWE superstar.
WWE superstar.
I mean, technically, he should be number 1, but in our world, 10.
We could put him at 1.
He should. Who got talked about more than Bad Bunny on our list?
I'm gonna put Bad Bunny at 1.
I think it's a good week to put him at 1.
There we go. All right, so now we have.
Un VIP. Hey, cara, dame un selfie. Say cheese por Titi.
David Priest would have been. Hey. As most of America heard, like, hey. I would have put Damien on this list if he showed up, brother. You know,
I thought he would. When they started playing the Nueva York, when they got to that part, I'm like, I actually said to my stream, they're going to show Damien here, and no.
Give
Wepa.
Damien the flag. He would have been
a Wepa flag.
Yeah,
that's Puerto Rican. Just a Wepa flag. Puerto Rico.
All right, so we have 9 and 10. We have 9 and 10 open. Any love for Randy qualifying? I mean, Randy getting
yeah, give me Randy. Yeah, I'll take Randy.
Yeah, I'll give you Randy. All right.
Nothing. No Gunther here.
One more spot open for the new Heat order.
We both said this. I felt like that was a breakout for Julia. Maybe we give this one to Julia, number 10.
Julia one day will no longer fooling you.
Yeah.
Here's your Heat order. At number 10, Julia. Number 9, Randy Orton. Number 8, Americanoverse. Number 7, Stephanie Vacchetta. Number 6, Cody Rhodes. Number 5, LA Knight. Number 4, Liv and Dom. Number 3, Javon Evans. Number 2, Drew Mack. And number 1, Bad Bunny. You think when Logan replied, no, I'm not interested in halftime, he was building a match?
I absolutely, the way he deadpan answered, that was Logan Paul, the WWE superstar. And to which then everybody started using it as that was a political statement from Logan. I'm like, that's Logan Paul that I see on Monday Night Raw. The way he answered that, the way he looked, that felt like Monday Night Raw Logan Paul.
It felt like the Logan Paul when you see Anthony out there with his Polaroid camera, how he's messing with him. That's the working Logan. You know what I mean?
You felt that too. That was working Logan.
Yeah, it was working Logan, dude. What do they always say? Always look for work when wrestling. Open yourself up for a match, and I think that's what he did. Like, it's going to be a generational pop when Bad Bunny beats Logan Paul in the main event at Backlash.
Backlash.
At Backlash.
Well, so it's already confirmed. It's not Backlash. They're not doing Puerto Rico, sadly.
What are they? Wait. So no Puerto Rico PLE?
We don't know. They said that there was going to be a Puerto Rico PLE. Everybody thought it was going to be Backlash, but they announced that Backlash is going to be Tampa.
You know what would be sick if they had a Royal Rumble in 2 different places. I know they did that with Mania one year, where they had Mania in 3 different places. I think that'd be cool to have one like SummerSlam or Royal Rumble in Puerto Rico. Like night 2 in Puerto Rico. Be hell of a problem when it comes to like actual moving all the stuff or setting up 2 stages, but the WWE could afford it. Come on.
I mean, I'm sure they could, but I don't think that'll ever happen. I think there's probably still like PTSD from WrestleMania 2 and how that went down.
Mm-hmm. They had in 3 places. Crazy.
It was 3 different time zones too, wasn't it? Was it like New York, Los Angeles? I don't know where the other one was.
Yep. 3 different places. Yeah, crazy.
Was it 3? I thought it might have just been New York, Los Angeles, but yeah, that seemed like a freaking nightmare. All right, let's wrap up the show, folks. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. An extra special thank you, of course, goes out to our $15 patrons. They are the producers of the show.
It was in New York, Illinois, and California.
Yeah, so 3 time zones. That's crazy. Dude, imagine getting booked for Illinois. Ew.
Oh, that'd be Punk. That'd be CM Punk.
Oh, dude, I'm dumb. I'm thinking Indiana. Like again, I'm not American. I don't know.
That'll be Pat McAfee. There you go.
Yeah.
Your main event, Pat McAfee.
Chargers are posers and frauds. Toasty, Ayo Salguero, Active D4C, Abrim Zuda, Alex Regal.
What a bum Super Bowl, brother. What a babe Super Bowl,
it wasn't
bro.
Good. Alex Regal, Alex.
The kicker got cooked, dude. The kicker should have been MVP.
Won. He should have won MVP. I do think though, at least the good guys won. You know, at least the good guys won.
Yeah.
Alfie the Chosen One, Alfie Walfi, Amalik, American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Anthony Blaze, Antonio Arjona, Antony, Ariel Pacheco, Arrogance, Ashley, Ashlyn Poole, Aussie Kingslayer, Bailey Saunders, Beans, Be Hostile, Big 40 Maddox, Blair the Scottish Warrior, Blenda, Blue Cord, Bluefish, Brad Lee, Braden Primo, Brie Bella got a better pop than Obafemi, Brody Cyphers, Brian Gallardo, Bubba the Big Fella, Cameron Warren, Cameron Talks WWE, Cameron Whittle. Can Gunther retire Sancho, please? Carlito, Carlos, CB, Chad.
I would die in the ring, though. I'm not tapping out like some Cena fan.
Chainster, Chandler, Swingford, Chris Butner, Lucas, Kyle, hang on, Christian Anderson, Chucky Gonzalez. All right, give me a second here, Sancho. I think I might have... No, we're good. Okay. Load here. Cool Whip Tim, Corey King, Cucumber Rindabum. Wow. You got me good. God damn it. I can't believe I fell for Cucumber in the bum. See, that's good. I like that. That doesn't hurt anybody's career to trick them into saying cucumber in the butt. Damn Schubert, Derek Barnhart, Digi, D Lopez, Dominic DeCoco, Drake Hughley, Dylan, Eagle Steve, Egg Toasty, El Juan de Americano, El Joshi, Eric Ruiz Romero, Ethan Richardson, Extreme Depressed Finn Balor Lover, I Satch Fart McShit, hey, it's Bad Bunny, it's a Latino bull, hey, Finger Poke of Doom, Fletcher Walpole, FMFCMA, Foster JK, Freddie Trejo, Frenzy, Freezer, Fugnux, Evas in Fugnux, you as in Ugnux, Camera, Gaming Nerd 35, Gilbert Deans, give me that toxic bing bong weapon before I scream out without the S. Glass Eater, Godspeed, Goose Lesnar, GXA Man, Haunted Nukes, Heath Robertson, Hey Shakes, Holding My Breath Till Sancho's in the thumbnail / Ballard Push, Rick James, Bitch, Ian McNugget, Ilya, Dragon Nuts, I'm Braun Strowman. Issa says, week 9 of asking Santi to pay for my WrestleMania ticket. It's Mista, it's Bogey, it's Astro Kid, Jack Gibley, Jack Harris, Jackson, Jacob Mueller, Jacob Saffel, Jake, James Armand, James Smith, Jared Hernandez, Jason De Dios, Jason Flint, Jason Vane, Javier Rodriguez, Jax Teller, Javion McDuffie, JC Worley, Jeremiah Finley, Jeremiah Kelly, Jahihi Ahihi, Joe Benitez, Joe Exotic, I'll never financially recover from this, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, Joey Wrestling, Jonathan Cox, Jonathan Moore, Johnny Owens, Jordan, Jordan Brennan, Jordan Lynch, Josh Norfleet, Joshua Kane, Joshua Oosterhout, Josue Navarro, JR, Juan Lamelli, Juan Vega, Julian Asarfi, Julian Wainwright, Jr., Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caden Seals, Caleb Martin, Kevin Bega, Kevin Clark, Cody Barker, LA Knight Needs More Glazing, Lawrence Richards, Lewis Newlands, Liam, Lil Shifu, Logan Ward, look, it's Pac-Man, Wepa, Luis Jimenez, Luisito El Calvo, Majed, Mal, the Soul, Ruka Glazer, Mark, Marnie YCSM, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mossy, me versus Rhea in a bedroom Punjabi prison match, Makai, Meredith Lee, Michael Morname, Michael Paz, Michael the Third, Michael Vera, Miguel Paredes, Minoru Suzuki is goated, Muhammad Albanai, Mr. Gibby Fresh Zap, Nathan Tully, Nicholas Protopapas, Nicholas Kyle, Nihilus, NyQuil pad. Nura Dean. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call you Nura. Obi Nobi, Oil Up Now Santi, Old Man Rican, Oliver Hammonds, Omar Ghazawi, Oscar Ruiz, Oscarms, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Papa Bear, Pat R, Pat McMark, Frody, Prince Vegeta, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Randomly Chosen, Rainier Neko, Reaper God, Red Hot Wepa Peppas, Rick Mar 1R, Rick Dutcher, Ryan Halberg, Ryan Munez, Ryan Spradley, Riley, Sadie Brink, Sancho can be my +1 on the Oba train. No +1s. We did not send out +1s in the invitation. Sancho doesn't get a safe space or the thumbnail. Santi eats Sancho the long way. Santi listens to Tom McDonald, Sauce God, Saudi Rig Boog, Savage Field, Scott Linden, Shane, Sean Sampson, She Sanch on my Santi till I zap. Shitstain Nakamura, Slayer, Sumesh Patra, Stay True, Super Malachi Galaxy, Take a Shot every time Sancho says good ol', the King of Bro Code, the Patriots own the Chargers, Vanilla Jorilla, the Wepa Warrior Bing Bong, the LA Knight Mega Glazer, Jacob Kufis, the Final Boss, Bloodline Rules, Tom Lehman, Tom Cerati, Trent Head, Trevor Harder, Trevor Shiflett, Turner Dahl, TWD, Tycho, Tyler Bouchard, Tyler Logan, Tyler McGarry, Undead T49, 429, Unknown Zero, Vacant Going Over LA Knight, Vegan Penguin, Venom, Verzo, Voidsy Wade, Juan Pablo III, Wayne Heiser, Wepa King, Kit Wilson theme, Wepa King, dun, 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 dun. Wepa King. I'm only going to do that this week. Wepa Group LLC, White Mexican, Wody1273, William Newton, W Kelly FM, Woo Woo, Wepa, you know it. Zach Zmira, Yo Girl Side, Young Shmee, Zach Griffin, Zach Wetstein, Zachary Rhodes, Zach Butchers, A2K, Need Santi to Oil Up, Zeke Loves, Zerxito, Osaka, Just in Case, and Gracias! Thank you all for being $15 Patreons here on the Wrestling is Cool Patreon. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and be wonderful people. Goodbye, everybody.